wanting to be
No,
with you
I
the
know,
entire
but
time.
like, what if I say some weird, embarrassing ass shit?
We won't drop names.
Blame Nolan. Oh yeah, instantly. If I get sappy, I'm flaming Nolan.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, did you show anyone the video of?
What?
That's my
I didn't show.
Okay. Then I won't bring it on.
No.
That's my backup plan.
Burn
If
on
all
it.
else fails, I'm flaming Nolan. You just turn your head with like that awful look in your eyes, like.
Bro, Nolan got that light skin stare.
No one looks like Sid the Sloth. I'm so ready.
I still say Johnny from Hotel Transylvania.
Wow, I never even thought about that one.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's crazy good.
I know.
That's crazy good. Oh my lord.
I try.
No, and you're screwed, bro. For the next however long we're going.
And it's gonna be on video.
It's gonna be on
See, like, I
video.
start to feel bad
I'm
a little
so
bit,
ex-
and I'm
I'm
like,
so
oh, like, I
excited that we're
shouldn't
gonna
say
have
that.
us
And then I,
flaming
like,
you on
remember
video.
everything, and I'm like, fuck you.
Oh,
Nolan.
I bet you'd love to, bro. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Good. It'd be like 1 for 6.
Whoa,
next to
my
us.
radio just popped a little bit.
That, like, I've made him cry.
My radio
for
just woke up a little bit. That's crazy. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Fuck that.
I say that to Clara all the time
I
because
know
she's just
you do. Atrocious.
she's like fuck you, Kevin. I bet you'd love to.
I love
Am I
that you
in the
say it
frame?
so monotone
Am I in
every
the frame?
time too. It's
I bet
amazing.
you'd love to.
Yeah,
You would love to.
What's your name again?
Funny.
Believe it or not, you are.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it's on
I trust you.
It's on wide. So.
I was
Ooh, the
just
Lions
checking.
just signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Let's go.
How far out can I?
No.
You're just gonna raise up the camera. What if, Kevin? What if we just don't have Nolan talk and we just have him light skin scare right into the camera the whole time, bro?
He naturally does that.
I know.
Nolan naturally light skin stares.
We'll move that to where.
And he
the-
naturally manipulates
Actually,
too.
yeah. No, I don't think so.
I can have my feet up, right? That's all right. Yeah.
I can
Here, I'll join you.
smooth in there.
Yeah, I would rather not be alone in his shoes.
It's hard being the producer.
Imagine you take off
Setting all this up and
the-
doing this. I wish I had the
Do we have
big
matching
camera.
notebooks yet? Did you get me? I think I have that notebook.
Maybe.
But in a small version.
With a little lock in the front?
Yeah, that's what you
Bonjour.
got for my poetry.
Ha ha! God, I'm awesome.
Oh, are you already recording?
You lose privileges.
Am I?
Yeah, I think so.
Hi.
Red dot does not mean that.
That's I believe
Yes,
so.
it does.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Been recording for like 10 minutes.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Blooper!
And what do you mean bloopers? Making me bloopers.
That means we have a lot of dirt on
going
Nolan already.
right in.
We already have been ragging on him for like.
That means we already have a lot of dirt on Nolan.
light skin stairs, Sid looking. You know.
I have that on record now.
I got mine
so
adjusted.
much.
Hi.
All right.
What you want me to do with this?
All right. Yeah, let's get going. Let's fire this
Go.
thing up. All right. Welcome back to I don't know what edition we're on. We're on like 9 of Garage Pod. This is a podcast where we're talking to everyday people and talking about everyday things. And so basically how this goes, just to reiterate to the folks at home, how this goes is this is our board. And we got the board. We got the board of the categories. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. But how it normally goes is I sit down with folks and from all different walks of life. It doesn't matter who it is, whatever they are. And there's categories. There's a million different categories here. We got sex, money, education, love, career, work, drugs, human disease, music, God, whatever. There's 46 categories here. And so you guys, whoever it is, girls, you pick the category, whatever category you want to talk about, and then I ask the questions, and then we have a discussion, and we let it rip. We hear your voice, because we just want to hear your voice. That's the whole point. But we're going to do something a little bit different today. Today's going to be a little different because it was a suggestion. And we got a new cool spinning wheel here. Check this out.
That I got for him.
And this was a cool gift. DB Prods on there. I see that. That's awesome. We got the little dick and balls, little logo there. So we got the spinny wheel, and then And I'm gonna introduce everybody, and we'll get them. We'll get you all going here in a second. But just let me kind of explain it to everybody out there. What's going on is you all picked categories, whatever you wanted to do, and then we're gonna spin the wheel, or we'll have you guys spin the wheel, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll just see how it goes. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, so. We need to talk about where we're at, and let's put this down.
Yeah.
Is it on the ground?
Yeah, it'll balance.
Yeah,
it's good.
Then we can go like that. Yeah.
It's not covering you.
I don't care if it's covering me. That's all right. So this garage pod is a little different. It's a little bit different setup. Normally we're sitting in my garage. We're just sitting in my garage, and Sierra to my left here, she's actually a 3-timer. This will be your third. This will be your third pod. Won't be your fourth. It'll be your third.
Yeah.
That'll be your third. This will be it'll be Lucy's second. She's a 2-timer. All right. And we're in a very special place. I get such a cool opportunity to come here and hang out with all of you here at where are we again? All right.
University of Denver.
We're at the University of Denver. That's right. So yeah, and whatever. Just chime in whenever you want to chime in. So yeah, we're at the University of Denver. So what an awesome opportunity to come here and talk to all the students, the youth. This is the future of the world sitting right here. You're not from the University of Denver. You're not going to Denver, but you're still part of the future of the world, though, Sierra.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're still part of that future. So what a great opportunity that we have here to do this. So it's kind of cool. We're makeshifting and we're sitting in. All right. So here's what we'll do. Let's go like whatever. We'll go around. Let's just introduce who you are. Like give it 2 seconds. Like where are you from and what's the givey, and then tell like where we're at, because I know we're at the University of Denver, but where are we at? What dorm are we at? What are we doing here? So it's Kevin, but.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you for having us here. We really appreciate it.
It's my honor.
Yeah. No. You can't. I've been waiting for this. Like, I just want to say. So, I'm Kevin. I'm from New Mexico. My family is from Mexico.
Where are you at? We're in New Mexico.
We're in New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Oh, you're in Santa Fe? I thought it was Albuquerque.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
All right. A little bit north up there, then.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about it. It's really historic. If you love museums, you'll love it, right? Right now, we're in the lounge, in the lobby.
We are in the lounge.
And
All right, what hall are we? We're in a hall.
We are in Centennial Halls.
We're in Centennial Halls.
This is a freshman dorm. And
you all live here.
No,
Yeah,
right?
I don't.
Lucy lives here. You live here.
I don't.
No.
Amon doesn't.
Yeah.
Or Hugh doesn't.
Wait, you're right. Hugh. Well, Hugh will introduce himself in a
Yeah, I'll get
second.
there.
But he lives down a couple dorms down.
Yeah.
All right.
So here in Halls, we have 2 towers. We have North, which is where Lucy and Nolan live, and I'm in South.
Which is just right next door here.
Yeah, it's just right behind us.
Right behind us. All right.
Yeah, it's right behind us. It sucks, but the community's great. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what sucks? What sucks?
The bathrooms, I would have to say.
Bathrooms suck.
Worst part. Yeah.
Seriously?
Uh,
I didn't think that one. I just went to the bathroom. I didn't think that one was bad.
Oh, that one.
Well,
That one's pretty
the-
nice.
That's like the
WEC
communal. That's the
before
downstairs.
In his life.
Wait, say that. What did you say?
I said Kevin has apparently never been to Eau Claire in his life before. Their bathrooms are so bad, Kevin.
Like
compared to
even
ours.
worse.
They're like yellow tile, the entire thing, and there's like mold in them.
I guess I can't complain.
It's very
All right. What? I mean, they stink. Are they dirty or?
Well, I live
No.
in an all-male floor, so.
Oh, that's enough. You don't gotta say any more.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, I get it. Like, I mean, all right. I know.
All I have to say is I now know the pain of guys pissing on the toilet seat.
Damn.
Two people
Right.
getting here to
Which is
experience that?
fine
Yeah.
until you
We
gotta
have
take a
brothers.
deuce.
Yeah, but my brothers we were all raised like.
You didn't have like one
Clean?
brother who he just didn't care.
Well, it was
My
me,
older brother,
but that was as a kid.
My older brother, he would somehow end up hitting the top of the toilet. Like I don't know how he did it. It was impressive, frankly.
That's a hell of a stream.
Yeah, like it's wild.
That's a rainbow stream there for sure. All right, so the bathrooms are a little bit rough. All right, so we only got 4 mics. I'm producing this thing by myself here, so it's a little bit kitty-wampus, just slightly. So, you'll have to just go. We got to go with the flow. So we got the 4th mic, so you got to hand the mic, and You guys will share.
Bonjour. I had to, guys. I had to.
Well,
All right,
that's
fine.
all right. You can speak French. Okay, wait. All right.
I'm Nolan.
Go ahead, Nolan.
Just, you know.
Tell us how many languages you speak.
I took French for 3 years in high school, so I don't speak it fluently, but I can understand the gist of most of it. In elementary and middle school, I studied Japanese, so for a total like 5 years. And then I also don't know that fluently, but have enough to get the context. Like if you show me some symbols, I could probably read them
Okay.
out and identify them. And then I speak a little bit of German. I have a host sister this year from Germany, living with my family currently, who speaks German, French, and Spanish. So I had to learn a little bit just to communicate with her. She also speaks English very fluently.
And
but
she's back at home.
Yeah, she is.
And
back.
where's home?
Wisconsin, Neenah, Wisconsin, little
Wait,
town.
where?
Neenah. It's like
Nina,
in between.
Nina. Nina, that's north, way north.
No, Neennah.
Oh, Neena.
Yeah, it's like. Do you know where Appleton is?
Yeah, I know where Appleton
Yeah,
is.
it's right next to it, basically. It's like 10 minutes.
All right, so
outside.
you're by Green Bay.
Yeah, like hours. What is that? South.
That goes well for
Hours
Sierra
south?
because she's
Yeah.
a Wisconsinite.
Yeah.
Nolan, I still don't like you.
He's a Scotty. All right, we already got beef. We'll get to your
reason,
beef in a
though,
minute.
for good reason.
Like, holy
You've
cow.
seen Sid the Science Kid. You kind of look like Sid the Science Kid.
And now,
Mackerel.
I hope you know. I
All
hope you
right.
know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I
okay,
do
good.
know
Yeah,
this.
All right, continue.
You guys watch PBS Kids?
Just go ahead. Yeah. All the time.
All the time.
I was a big Arthur guy personally. It took me until like 3 days ago to realize he was an aardvark. I didn't know.
What did you think he was?
I don't know. I
Not
kind
an
of thought he was
aardvark.
just like I thought he was a hippo. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was like a bear, like
Yeah,
a weasel,
like
or like a bear, or
Arthur
something
the
like that.
Aardvark that never clicked.
That
with
never
you?
clicked. Never once. No.
Like
I had
all of the
and I had the
characters.
books too. Like that's the thing, where it specifically says he is an aardvark. Like like it's crazy.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway,
All right,
Yeah.
dig it. All right, what are you studying here at DU? What?
I'm a mechanical engineer, so
All right.
studying engineering. What, Kev? You're
So you know the
electrical.
language and numbers. I mean, you got it all cooking.
Yeah, good. I'm good with STEM, I think.
All
I'm
right.
just decent enough at it, but
well, if you can't be good at social
Big
skills,
giant
then-
brain.
you have to be good at something. Yeah.
All right.
Other thing is music too. I'm big into music. I play cello and piano, so I'm looking into auditioning for Lamont, which will be fun. We'll see how that goes.
Wait for audition for what? Say it again.
The Lamont Symphony Orchestra. So they have.
Okay, that sounds like a huge deal.
Yeah,
you
there's
gotta
a
educate
big-
me here. Give me 2 minutes on it. What is that? What is that? Like, give me.
So the
tell
Lamont-
somebody who's dumb what that means. 'cause I am.
No. I've been a cellist for probably 9 years now, and then in high school I started participating in symphony. So in like a standard orchestra, you have like the viola, the cello, the violin, and the bass, like the four main instruments there. And then once you get into symphony, it widens up to add like all the horns and like saxophones, trumpets, trombones, all the fun stuff. And then I was in that group in high school for 3 years and loved it because we played so many cool pieces like Hungarian dances, danzón, a lot of like classical works was
Yeah.
the main focus of it. And then so now like taking a little gap from music just because I didn't audition at the start of this quarter, it like really realized how much I miss performing in these groups. So I will definitely look into that audition, and I think it'll be really fun. But yeah.
All right, when are you gonna audition?
That is actually this week. So I gotta
Oh.
prepare a couple excerpts for it and
All
submit
right,
a
so you
video.
got a big week.
Yeah, but
Good.
we'll be good. I think
Okay,
it'll
that's
be good.
pretty cool.
Mhm.
And then will you know right away?
Yeah. So I'm kind of like auditioning independently, just because they normally go by cycles, and then we have a large group of cellos here. Like we have to do 2 cycles. So like for the first half of the quarter, the first cycle of cellos play, and then the second half cellos play for a concert.
right.
So yeah, it's a stressful but also like challenging group, which I enjoy. So.
That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
we'll
man.
see how it
That's pretty
goes.
Sick. That's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
well, good luck. Good luck.
Thank you,
good
thank you.
luck. Who's your biggest musical influence?
Probably my mom. Both my parents went to school for music. My mom's a band teacher now, middle school band teacher, and then my parents both play in a bunch of bands. The main one is the UW Fox Cities, I think, the UW Fox Cities band. So they do, like, every year, they have, like, 3 concerts, 2 hours long. A couple of years ago, they did a really cool bassoon concerto. It was, like, 26 minutes, but the bassoon is such a cool instrument. But, yeah, through them, my mom also played in jazz bands, and she conducted jazz bands, too. So my whole life I've been surrounded by music, so.
All
Yeah.
right, so that does explain with the engineering and numbers why you it probably comes super easy to you.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming based on what you're saying that, and I can tell it just seems like you're really into it and really love it. You're not just trying to live up to their expectations.
No. They
Okay.
definitely. I mean, they definitely had a lot of influence on it, just because like they like kind of forced me into an instrument, but they let me pick it as well. So I had both their influence and my own, and it kind of blended really well together to create just a solid foundation in music. And I've grown to like appreciate the complexity of it, like music theory I like studying, as well as like just playing too, and like improvising on piano and such is really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, dig it.
Mhm.
And you don't find a hindrance because you only got 2 fingers there.
I
We're
know,
gonna get into
yeah.
that
The
in a
cello
second.
actually worked out perfectly for the like musical instrument wise, I guess. I wanted initially to play the saxophone because my mom played the saxophone, and it's such a fun instrument, but you need all 10 fingers for it. So you can make a custom one actually. Like we looked into,
Really?
or like yeah, they make a lot of custom instruments. Like for recorder, for example, when we took like everyone takes in
Yeah,
general
the
music,
recorder.
the recorder
Right.
class.
No.
We had to drill a hole on the bottom of the recorder
Right.
to add like an extra hole at the end because
So
I
you
couldn't
can-
cover up all of them with my hand there. So there's actually, it's really cool how like customizable instruments can get. But the nice thing about the cello is I had a perfect amount to play it, and I have full dexterity in my left hand and full dexterity in my right, so I can bow and finger on one side too. So it's really fun.
It's awesome.
I think I'm pretty good at it too. So
All right.
that's nice as well.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and to your right,
I'm Hugh.
Come on, Hugh.
I don't live here. I live down the road.
give it up.
Uh,
When you say you don't live here, your
I
bathrooms
mean,
are
like,
better.
I go here, but I don't live in this building. I always am here, though. Every time that I go out somewhere, people are like, "Oh, you're that guy from Halls. What dorm are you in?" And then I tell them I'm in Demond, which is where I live down the road, which is the bougie dorm.
The
and they're
bougie
like,
dorm.
It is. It's the place is nice, but the people in it are just hellish.
Really?
My roommate is he's all right. He lets me play his guitar, so I don't really mind him.
All right, so you're playing instruments too. You're a music guy?
Not well. I don't play them like Nolan plays them. My parents made me take piano lessons when I was like 7 or so, and I was terrible. I was god awful, and so that stopped like a year later. And then I didn't play an instrument at all until my next door neighbor was moving and found an old guitar in his garage, and so he just gave it to me. His old guitar and his old amp. So I had that, and I just had it for 3 years and never did anything with it. And then my dad eventually was like, well, you have it, we might as well make you take lessons. So I took lessons with this really cool guy named Jesse at this place called the Rock House back home. And that was fun. I was really bad, and I more so wanted to just listen to him play because he was really good. So I would just go there and like have a song and be like, "Hey, can you play this?" And he could. So it was really cool. And I would skip lessons or leave them early just to go hang out with my friends. So I wasn't really committed to it, but I picked up like the bare basics of it. And then when I was in, I think when I was in like 6th or 7th grade, my dad bought me a new Mexican Fender Telecaster, and it was amazing. It was so nice. And so then I like actually got into it for a little bit. But as soon as I had to start learning how to try finger picking, my hand just couldn't figure it out. So I got super demoralized, and I basically quit after that. And then in I think freshman year or maybe sophomore year of high school, I had always wanted to play the bass. That's the instrument that I wanted, but I just ended up getting a guitar. And so with the little money I had from some job I had worked, I bought this really like low-end Fender Mustang bass, which is a short scale, so it was the same length as a guitar.
Right.
Just so I didn't have to get a new case for it, because I didn't want to have to pay extra for that. And so I have that. Smart. And the Fender, the Telecaster is named Cherry, and then because I really liked Eric Clapton at the time, so I named them after their colors.
Yeah, you have to.
So that one was named Cherry, and then the Mustang is white, so it was named Whitey. And I have them both back home, but I was so petrified of them getting broken on the way over here that I didn't bring them. So I was playing my roommate's guitar, which is, funnily enough, the exact same make and model of guitar that I was given by my next door neighbor when I was a kid. It's a little Squire Stratocaster. And that was nice. But then one day, Kevin, I think, was it second quarter, Kevin, that we did it? Was it?
I'm not 100%. It was definitely this quarter, yeah.
So it was after the New Year. Me and Kevin were going on one of his long nighttime adventures, and
Oh yeah, that sounded good.
and so we ended up at Guitar Center, which is my favorite place in the entire world.
Yeah.
And there was this little piece of garbage Yamaha classical guitar that was only like $70 because it had a huge crack in the back of it. And the strings were all falling apart. And I was like, well, I need that, obviously. So I bought it. And then Kevin made me walk home with it. We could have taken the train back like we took to get there. And instead of having a 35-minute walk with me holding a cold guitar in my... Because it was freezing that night. And so I had to walk the whole way home. My left hand felt like it was going to fall off by the time we got there. But it was all right.
Are you playing it now? I mean,
yeah,
are you playing
it's back in my dorm.
right.
I named it Ruby.
All right, Ruby.
I don't know why. It's not really ruby colored. It's just kind of.
Oh, well, that's the vibe. That's what you felt.
That's just what I ended up naming it. I think Nolan might have named it actually.
Nolan, did you name your cello?
I actually don't name my instruments. I don't know why. I know like some people do. This cello I have.
Are you afraid of getting too intimate with it?
Well, the cello I have currently is technically still like a practice cello.
Yes, he is.
He's terrified of intimacy. We'll get that later.
Nolan's 100% the type, is all I'm saying.
I was terrified of it, petrified.
Yeah.
But no, Hugh, I actually almost started up with bass. Like I wanted to play upright bass, but they said I was too small for it. So I couldn't play the upright.
You could have played, you could, because you don't need.
Well,
two
yeah,
fingers.
but like they didn't.
That.
So like the cello sizes, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
uprights are made in like quarter sizes. So you have like quarter, half.
Yeah, it's kind of like how my bass is short scale.
and
That's
full.
Kind of like,
And the smallest quarter size bass was still humongous. Like it's a full
they're
upright.
giant. Yeah.
But
So, Hugh, what are you studying?
So I came in as a mechanical engineer, and then I remembered that I'm terrible at math. So I dropped out of that.
Okay.
Because I failed my math class. So I dropped out of that. And now I'm just undeclared. And like, I don't really know what I want to do. My parents are pushing me to just get a business degree. But if I were to like choose what I want to do, I want to be a history teacher. Like that's like my passion in life.
I dig it.
Because I've been super into history for the longest time. Ever since I looked at my dad's wall of books in our little library. And so I just, like, that's what I would want to do is be a history teacher, but I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm still feeling it out. Like,
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna start a band? You guys should like. Kevin,
No.
man, you playing anything,
No.
man?
We
instruments?
actually-
You can play recorder. Maybe he's like somebody to teach you how to play.
I want to
Kevin
teach.
can play piano.
yeah, Kev.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
can.
Kev can play a couple
Kevin to
things
take
on
the
piano.
harmonica. I want Kevin to take up the
We were
harmonica.
joking about it yesterday, but we were talking about going down to
Yeah,
downtown
busing.
and busing, like bringing the guitar, cello, and then
Kevin will be our carnival barker.
Yeah, you could run security.
Not a joke, though. We're actually doing it.
Oh, God,
I'll get videos.
My
Don't worry.
strings
Dig
are
it.
breaking.
All right, we want to
dude.
see
Like,
that for sure.
Oh yeah, we'll do it for sure. I'll force them.
Hell yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
if there's one thing Kevin's good at, it's forcing me to do things.
All right.
It's my shenanigans. It's always I'm up to something.
You're the leader.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Kevin is the main character.
It's-
Yeah.
you're a natural born
Kevin's the
leader, right?
protagonist.
Yeah.
I'm actually the complete opposite as I was back home.
Well, why? We were back home. What were you, quiet?
I never talked to anyone.
You never talked to anybody? Was it
Never.
because you didn't like them or you didn't want to talk to them or just you just didn't want them to know who you were?
I just had severe anxiety.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, dig it, man. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Oh, God, right? I mean,
But-
I don't know. We all do in different degrees.
Yeah. But at least I'm happy with who I am now. That's all that matters, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, one of us has got to be happy, Kevin. Thank you.
Well, rock
Appreciate
on,
it.
man. All right, well, let's go over. This is like the boys are on this side, the girls are on this side. It's like 7th grade in here.
I thought we
Like,
should have
what
made
the fuck is going
Nolan
on?
and Lucy sit together. I thought that would have
I
been
thought
fun,
we should have
but-
made Nolan and Sierra sit together. I think Nolan would have ended up dead. I think
And
that
there would be a
would've been
murder on the
funny.
podcast.
That's good TV.
That's-
I would be
Clickbait.
missing more than
Or
just
that's
a
not
leg.
clickbait, really.
that'd be something new.
There'd be less than 8
Haven't
fingers.
had a murder
Murder
yet.
board, murder.
There wouldn't be anything left to trace.
All right, so carry it on, Lucy.
Okay.
What's why don't you introduce yourself?
I
and-
mean,
and
yeah.
you're a two-timer,
I
so
was gonna say, I've
if
been
people
on
want to go
before.
back, they can go back to six. Is it 6? You were on episode 6.
Yeah.
And you can go back and check you and Ellie Fulford were on. And you both come from two different, probably, perspectives. Certainly maybe from easiest from a political, but maybe a social perspective a little bit. But then I think you guys really found that you really are quite alike.
No, yeah, that was because I was really scared to go on that podcast because it was because Ellie's just definitely more like right-winged and like conservative, and I'm a lot more left-winged.
But you found that you both have a lot in common, didn't you?
No, it was wild. The fact
It
of,
really
just,
was wild.
Talking about it in like kind of like a safe space and like without judgment, things like that you could find a lot more common ground than I thought.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm Lucy, by the way. In case they don't want to go back.
And do you like work at Starbucks? Or are you a student here?
I wish I worked at Starbucks.
Jeez.
No, I'm a student here. I live in this hall, like Kevin said. I'm studying English, and I don't know what my other one's going to be yet.
And what instrument do you play?
Oh, I played the saxophone in the 6th grade because I have enough fingers.
Damn, that's cold. You
She's
already
not
got in on his
lying,
fingers.
though.
We haven't even started talking about his leg yet.
If I played saxophone now, I'd be
Holy
better.
shit.
No one does have a
break-
leg.
Go ahead, man. What are you gonna say? Oh, we're breaking out the leg already. Might as well. All right, let's finish up here. I'll tell you what. Let's finish up on this side, and then we'll come back to the leg.
I will work my way into this.
Okay,
so
we'll
I'll
work the leg in.
It's easy.
Oh, you'll come
I've
up,
spent
don't worry,
9.
yeah.
No,
You'll come up
15
some.
years. I spent 15 years doing it. So
Okay, that's
figure out a
like
way.
a whole
I'll figure out a way.
sideshow. It'll be great. You can like, all right.
It's like the circus.
Usually, it's the first thing he says. I'm surprised that's how. It
is my intro.
It's your
Yeah,
intro.
no
You
one-
just
no
put your
one-
leg out there. Go, hey, hi.
Yeah, like slap it on the table, take it off, it's fun. All right,
Yeah.
guys, keep going.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
keep going. Let's go.
All
All right,
don't know. Yeah,
that's
I'm-
cool. And dig it.
I'm pretty dope. No
Wow.
one didn't think so though.
All right. Well, again, we'll spin the wheel. We'll get around to that.
Okay.
All right. And
Yeah.
you are. What's your name again?
Sierra Herbert,
The Herb.
the Herbinator.
The Herb. Blondie.
Ruby,
Sixer.
Blondie,
Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, hey now.
Not that one.
Okay.
I go to the University of Wisconsin, Eau Claire, but I'm visiting Lucy
Visiting.
on my spring break, which I was
Nice.
really excited about.
You may have recognized Herb from our road trip here. Other aspect of the channel, we got another side of it, trying to attempt to be the first person across the country in an electric full-size truck, and going to make you famous. And then you'll come with me, and you'll be famous too. We'll take a little trip down to going to Santa Fe, going to Albuquerque, going to Mexico, or we're going to go to Phoenix. All right. Dig it.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. We'll work the leg in a minute. So you guys wanted to, instead of going off the board, you wanted to use the wheel, the new wheel. This is the first time we used the wheel. This is a virgin experience with the wheel. I love it. So how do you want to do it? Like, what do you want to do? Does somebody want to spin and then for someone else? I'm gonna let you guys kind of.
I think no one should do it.
Yeah, I think no one should
Because
spin
he's got to
first,
take
yeah.
some things virginity, bro. At least.
All right. There's our shots across the bow.
Holy shit!
Nolan, they're just.
That
they're
was
just.
so good, Kev.
So wait,
That was
what's-
so good.
So wait, what's the plan here before you spin? Is it? Are you gonna?
Okay.
How do you? Are you? Yeah. How do you want to do it? Do you want to?
Am I like all-time spinning, or are we just going by
No,
turns?
you don't have to all-time spin. Let's
Okay.
mix it up.
I
Like,
think.
everybody can get
Everybody wants to spin.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Okay.
So,
Who's asking the questions then? Do you want to ask the questions or Dad? Do you?
well, I'll start asking the questions.
Okay.
I still, I'm not just the producer. I'll just go back behind the camera. Man. There's no sense in having
I
me
get
here.
So
I
mad
can see.
when I'm on it because I just take over.
Here we go, Lucy. You can just take the mic and back. We'll let you sit. If you want, in a little bit, we'll let you sit here for a little bit. Okay? We'll let you sit in the MC seat here, and you can take over for a little bit.
Sure.
All right?
So yeah, I think I'll spin. You'll ask a couple questions, and then
Yeah.
we'll start.
Can we start? Sure.
I don't know. Lucy, do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Or-
start with Lucy
Wow,
and kind of
putting
go
her
around,
first.
or like just start a discussion.
Yeah, you.
after.
So you're spinning to pull the topic, and then
Yeah,
then
we'll
I'll
kinda-
just. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I mean, we don't have to
Yeah.
be just like I'll
doesn't
ask
have to
her
be
a
a
question, but pipe in.
Okay.
We'll let it go. And I can't see them, so once you spin it, no, I don't need to. You just spin it and let them see, and then just tell me what the. Oh,
That's a bad spin.
Oh,
You got to
my
respin.
dude.
yeah,
That's terrible.
that's a Bob Barker Price is Right, bad spin.
What is it? What is it? No, it's
Drugs.
Yeah, smart choice.
Drugs.
yeah. Good job not going the other way.
All right.
The other way.
We'll start with Lucy.
Oh,
Let's go.
Little father-daughter moment.
Yeah, what's your favorite drug, Lucy? And it can be love.
Lucy, stop the cat,
No.
bro.
Okay, shut up, Kevin. Okay, my favorite drug is probably marijuana because that's the only one I've done.
I was kind of hoping she'd say love or something like that, or
Oh, I'm
like,
sorry.
or
Love,
like the air, or
happiness,
weather. All right,
nature.
so it's THC.
Yeah.
All right, why?
Well, I don't know what strain it is, but I like feeling giggly.
Giggy? I'm saying, is giggy a word? Is that like a new word? that I
giddy.
don't, yeah, I figured
Giddy.
it. I know what
Yeah,
giddy
and I
is, but
also-
you didn't quite get it out of your mouth. Are you high now?
It makes me sleepy.
I noticed that she pretended like she didn't know what I said.
But I don't like actually like smoking because I'm so terrified for my lungs. Like I just
Yeah,
know
right.
that it will just like ruin my lungs and like
A lot of
especially
people
like
like
from
that,
a cart, like that resin just sits in your lungs and it's disgusting to me.
Lucy, can I
Even
just
though-
like just remember when you like threw up like a week ago after like just like not even that
I
bad of a hit?
also-
Like that was
Were you
like
smoking or gumming?
I throw up very no, I never throw up on a gummy. But I throw up very easy.
That sounds like that's more than once. Like I got a whole stash of gummies, mints, licorice, chocolate.
no, that's
you
where
name
Luke
it, I
comes
got
in.
it.
That's what Luke's for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Luke's for.
No, Lucy, but also, like, we've said this multiple times, but you're going to be that mom that smokes a cigarette every once in a while just to get away from the kids.
Kevin has
I
said
hate
that. I
when
have
he
not
says
said
that.
that. I just want
there's
we are
no
not part
we.
of this. This is all Kevin.
Only Kevin says this to me. He's like, "You're gonna be that mom that needs to smoke a cig to get away from her kids."
Like, every once in a while, like, every 3 months or
I
something.
said you were gonna
Smoke
be a Diet
joint,
Coke
not a
mom.
cig. Cigarettes are disgusting,
Okay.
and people.
I think that's
that-
kind of what he means. Is you're just going to use something to get
Yeah,
away from the kids
obviously.
because you're going to need to get away from your kids.
Well,
You're not going to love your kids as much as you think you're going to. It's hard to love children. It's hard.
Make it clear, I'm his child.
It's fun. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's wonderful.
Worst part is Lucy wants 12.
Maybe it's not hard. I shouldn't say it's hard. That's a bad. It's not hard to love them.
I was difficult at points. I won't lie. I was.
Oh, glad you have self-awareness. That's
Okay,
good.
you were difficult at some points.
Oh, I know I was.
Lucy-
I raised my hand. I'm fully lean into that. I was a tough dad.
You already slander little kids, like,
I do. I work with children because I want to be a teacher, and I do slander. Like I come home, or they pick me up from work. Kevin picks me up from work.
I pick you up from
Hugh-
work.
Hugh
No one
picks you
just
up.
did
I'm so
because he's
sorry.
emotionally unavailable.
Kevin and Hugh pick me up from work.
There you
and
go.
then they walk me back. But I always am like, I'm so annoyed with blank, and I just want because they are kind of like cunts sometimes.
They are demons.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Did
Especially
you just say the C word as
Can I say that
in
on here?
respect to children?
I did.
That's aggressive. I don't think I've ever heard a child being called a cunt before.
Lucy calls me it so much she made me a bracelet. With
Yeah,
that,
I
with it
made
on
them
it.
all
Yeah.
matching bracelets.
It just
Alright.
says it. Yeah.
Hugh says cunt, Nolan says slut,
Yeah.
and
Nolan's is
Kevin
on his
says
leg.
whore, but Kevin lost his down the elevator.
That's
I was
slightly
sobbing.
sad. I
Nolan's
still have mine on
Yeah.
from a year. I've had it for a year. I haven't taken it off once. All right, so
Sorry, back to drugs.
let's get back to drugs because it's led to a potty mouth.
But I throw up like really easily, and I think it's partly because of like my meds because I'm on antidepressants.
Yeah.
But that's why like I don't like to drink, so I just would rather get high.
yeah, tough to do both.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
tough
or
is
you
like
guys
for
do both?
tough is for some
Hugh
people,
does
like-
both quite well, actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Hold
a
on.
pro.
Yeah, you're a pro. All right,
It's like that's like the worst way I can put it, but yeah.
you can handle both. What's
Yeah.
your favorite? What's your go-to?
Well, if I like am choosing how to relax, I'm gonna get high because that's what I'd rather do. Because I get nasty hangovers, but mostly because I choose to drink hard liquor. But besides that, just I like getting high. It's like, but the problem is, I was high every day from about midway through sophomore year until the end of July of last year. So it was a really vicious cycle. where I literally couldn't function without it for the longest time. So I have a very bad relationship just with all that kind of stuff, which is like it's partially like familial and stuff, but it's all right. Like I'm getting by, you know.
All right, so you used it. You self-medicated. It
Yeah.
wasn't like
For
you're
sure,
you're doing it to watch SpongeBob. You're
No,
doing it
yeah.
to self-medicate.
I was
Yeah.
and am viciously depressed, and I was on antidepressants for a little while, but I had really bad experiences with them. The first one I took actually made it a lot worse, and I hadn't really had I had like had suicidal ideation before that, but I had never like had a feeling of like actually wanting to do it until I was on that, and that just made. I think that was when I was on. I think that was Lexapro.
and it amplified it.
It amplified it. It made it worse, yeah. And I also just really didn't like my therapist that much, so that just
That's
kind
a
of
double whammy.
Yeah, so it was really bad.
That's tough.
And like when I tried to explain that to my parents, because I was still 17, and they were like, I had to go through them to do all that stuff. My mom was like, "Oh, just give him another chance, give him another chance," and it got really bad. It reached like a peak point in December of not this past December, but a year ago or so, and that was a really bad time. A lot of bad stuff happened then, and yeah, it was really rough. And yeah,
Getting the antidepressants, it's tough to get that chemical dialed in. Everybody's so different.
you got to find the right cocktail.
You
Yeah.
got to find the right one. It takes time, and you got to cycle through different stuff and go through a lot of emotions. And yeah, that's a challenging thing to get through. Whereas you can just get high and
Yeah,
then go,
you just get
okay,
stoned.
I'm good for a little bit.
I'm good for the
till
next 2
tomorrow.
hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was also awful because I had I must have spent, God, maybe like $3,000, $3,500 over that period of time, because my tolerance was incredibly high. So I got a job just so I could feed it. Like that's the only reason I was working. And
Yeah.
so I came to school with like not much money at all, just because so much of it had gone into me just getting high every day.
Yeah.
And then I've gotten much better. I have a much healthier relationship with it now, partially because just of lack of access.
Which is odd here in Colorado.
Yeah, well, it's
Well,
almost
well.
like a personally like I know how I could get it. Because my roommate and
Well, you do have to be 21 here, don't you?
yeah, you do, but I
Okay.
have like a lot of avenues I could get it from.
Oh, yeah, everybody
But it's
does.
like I would much rather get it myself. Like I would much rather like be the one doing it than like, oh, I give money to someone else and they come
Right.
back with it.
Like, because it's like you're involving them in your
Yeah,
thing.
and then like
it's
I don't
fuck
like making people do things. My greatest fear is being a burden to people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like impose upon people when they're doing
Yeah,
that
dig
kind of
it.
stuff. So yeah, and now since midway through last quarter, I've made a commitment to myself that I would only smoke on Fridays and Saturdays, and so far I've kept true to that. So I've been, except when I went back home for break because I was with my best friend who is just the biggest pothead in the world. But besides that, I have kept pretty good about it.
So how's your mental aptitude? I mean, do you feel like, how do you...
Oh, it horribly affected my brain, I think.
Yeah, I mean, well, how do you feel now? I mean, do you feel not better? Do you feel like
I
you're
feel
missing?
much more clear-headed.
Yeah, do you feel more
I'm
clear-headed now?
Yeah, because
Do you like that feeling?
Oh, it's nice. For 2 years I didn't dream. I didn't dream one time.
Really?
And then all of a sudden one day, first quarter, I had a dream again, and it was such like a crazy experience that I literally cried that day about it.
That's awesome.
Because like I don't know, it's made things a lot easier to like. Because the reason I smoked so much was I didn't want to think my own thoughts. I didn't want to have to be alone with myself.
Right.
And now that I am forced into doing it, like it's not fun. I don't enjoy it, but like I'm able to get through it now. I'm able to like I have like a healthier relationship with my own brain because I almost view my brain as like a separate being from myself in a
Yep.
weird way. I don't really know how to describe that.
No, I completely understand
Yeah.
that. And sometimes when you don't have control over it,
Yeah.
or you can't control your thoughts, and it's like you're aware that they're maybe not the healthiest, or it's like it creates so much anxiety, and you're like thinking about things, and then it just gets super depressing.
Yeah.
And then you feel like you can't have control. Do you feel like you have more confidence today in yourself?
I feel like I'm more able now for sure because I'm cripplingly self-conscious in everything. Lucy can tell you all about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm cripplingly self-conscious. It's held me back from doing a lot of things, but like I'm able to like actually plan out and like try to do things now rather than just like suppressing the thought and just not doing anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. I mean, that's pretty cool. All right. Drugs? You doing drugs? Any drugs? No, I'm talking to you,
No,
Kevin.
both
Whatever
of
you
us,
want.
honestly.
Neither one of you?
We could skip Nolan because he just. You want
Drugs
to talk about that
aren't your
situation?
thing?
You should talk your epilepsy story. Should talk about that.
Oh, well, if we can get to the topic earlier. If
Are we
get to
gonna-
it. But the main reason I stay away from drugs is just because I have epilepsy. Like I was
Okay.
diagnosed with epilepsy like 4th, 5th grade after having 2 grand mal seizures. Those are like the full
Yeah, I know.
shutdown
I have a
ones.
buddy that
Yeah, so
I saw have one.
I take Divalproex for it, so it's like it's a suppressant. So it like neutralizes like a specific area in my brain. We did I had to do a couple EEGs where they take like the brain scan and find all the waves and abnormalities in it. And we found that in my left side of the brain, like I think like somewhere here possibly, there was just a specific area that was releasing more neural activity than the other. And the interesting part with that is, you know how your sides are synced, like
Yep.
synonymously? Because it's my left brain, there was a fun connection between that and like also the physical disabilities on this side. So like the lack of fingers and the leg, like I was born probably I think 4 months early, so I was born quite premature, and because of that, a lot of things became like undeveloped. So I was born without the entirety of my fibula, and I had to have it amputated when I was 4, I believe.
When you were 4?
Yeah, 4 years old.
You
Yeah.
don't remember any of that, do you?
I do actually remember
You do?
most of it, yeah. Because I actually don't have trauma from the amputation itself, like the leg part of it. Because I was young, I was able to adapt to like walking again. Like I was able to relearn how to walk really quickly, and I had a really good support system of family and friends. I had the foot amputated when I was 4, it was like in pre-K, like right before kindergarten.
Okay.
So all of my classmates went through it with me. So like I was there and I had them all like asking questions and stuff. And then I wore a cast for probably like 6 months after, waiting for the leg to heal. And then I got a prosthetic, and I could both the new ability to like run and play sports and like rock climb and such, like just be really active, because before I had to wear like a sole that was like this thick, like on the bottom of my foot, because of the height difference.
Right. And if you
So-
had to change the process, how many times have you changed it in your entire life?
Because of like how I grow, I would get a new one every time I grew a significant amount, or my leg changed enough shapes. So I think I have like 8 or 9 now. And they all have different designs on them. So my current one is I got
It's cool, dude.
this year, or not this year, like last year. And
Still bring it over here.
Yeah,
man.
do you want it?
Let's go.
It is my favorite one. Like I've been wanting a map on my leg for forever. And it's basically like getting a tattoo, but I can remove it and
Right.
reinstate it like every couple of
It really
years.
doesn't
But
hurt.
yeah, this one, it's kind of like pirate themed. We had a joke in my
Right.
high school that like, because I had like a long beard, long hair, like they called me a pirate all the time. So I went with the theme and got the leg. And then, it's made of, the shell itself there has a thin layer of carbon fiber on the
Right.
inside, as well as plaster for durability. The ankle joint, now that I'm tall enough, is telescoping titanium.
Okay.
So it can extend up with a simple Allen wrench, so I can like customize it
Oh, so you can-
on my own, instead of having to
Right.
go in and get like shims put in.
Okay.
And then inside there's like, because I don't have an ankle, it creates a lot of strain like on the bottom of my leg here. Like I'll get a blister if it isn't fitting right. But to reduce some of that impact, there's a suspension kind of built in, not like a hydraulic or spring compression, but the carbon fiber bends at a certain joint
Yep.
to reduce impact. But yeah, because of that, I'm able to do everything like run and such. So it actually really improved my way of life, and also is a great conversation starter as well. So yeah,
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is sick. I actually would probably, if I have to redo it and I could choose to have another foot, I'd probably still pick to have a prosthetic. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's freaking dope. I love it.
And no hops though.
like,
oh my
yeah.
god, I got no hops.
It's okay. I don't. This leg is like pretty strong. Like it's probably twice as strong as this
strong as
leg. But like,
titanium.
there's no calf muscle in my leg. Like I have a calf, but because I
Right.
don't have an ankle, it's just like a stick basically from here down. But like my, I don't know.
One more time.
Yeah, that was a little bit of
It
a.
was interesting.
My bad. But
That was a trombone.
God.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah.
different.
Back to the drugs.
You have
thing.
before we do
Too.
drugs. So
Oh yeah.
you didn't name your leg. Did you?
No, I do not name
All
my.
right.
Actually,
All right, we got you had
I
some
think I
issues.
called it-
It's okay.
I still call it like a new leg. Like ever since I got it, I just called it new leg.
Okay.
Because it's a new leg.
Right, it's
But
a new one.
I don't know. There's
I
no
don't-
like specific name for it.
I like the
guess.
pirate
The
thing.
leg rest.
Yeah, it is sick.
I mean, if you like if you wore a patch in your eye,
I could go full pirate if I tried hard
yeah,
enough.
you
Like,
could for sure. You
for
could
the
sure.
we had a young people's concert where we did like the SpongeBob theme for our orchestra, and I dressed up as the pirate for it, and like did the whole like intro song, like voice like booming through the auditorium using a mic. It was sick, and like I looked like an actual pirate because I had the full long trench coat, the bandanas,
Oh yeah,
the bag
you got
pants,
your one
high
leg
socks.
there. That's
Yeah, and I took the shell off so it clicked when I walked. It was probably favorite
That's
costume
pretty
I've ever
sick.
put on with a leg. So yeah.
All right, so back to the drugs. A boring subject. I don't talk about your leg. But talk about
Yeah,
your
no.
leg.
I guess back to epilepsy. Then I just stay away from drugs just because of the like main uncertainty
Yeah.
of like what
What could happen?
what could
I don't
happen.
blame you.
Yeah, I don't want to like cause a seizure if I can't because you can die from them.
It's kind of
Yeah,
cool to.
but-
Is it kind of cool, depressing, fun, exciting, or maybe all of it? I don't know. To see when other people are on drugs, because I've been in that situation where everybody else is effed up and I'm not. And I'm
Yeah.
completely sober, and sometimes it's like,
Like
man, people are idiots.
He's a great babysitter. I just want to say.
yeah,
He did a
like
great
I
job.
He's a
I
good
like
parent. He's a good dad.
I like
Yeah,
taking care of people. Like I like when people are high or drunk. Like it's fun, I guess, being the sober one. But I also like just hate being around them too. Like at the same time, just because your decision is so clouded,
Right.
and like you will truly say like both awful things, or just you just don't act
Gotta play
like
a part.
yourself when
Right.
like intoxicated or high. So it's manageable, but it's definitely not ideal. Like it's not in a situation that I'd want to put myself in, I guess.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I totally get it.
like I get there's definitely like I'm not against it. Like there's healthy ways to do it and I can see it can be helpful, but it's
Right.
just preference wise I'm against
But
it.
then, like, he deals with me, so it's not great.
You're not
Yeah.
that
he,
bad to
he,
deal
hung,
with.
he hung a little picture for me. It was really nice because I was way too trashy to do it. It was really nice.
He's your sponsor. It's cool. Oh, yeah, dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, Mr. Two Legs. What do you got here?
All right. So I come from a different background than all of you guys. So my experience with
Yeah,
drugs.
what's your background? Give us your background. I mean, what is it?
Well,
First of all, what's your where you? I mean, I know you're from Santa Fe, but
yeah.
what's your background? What's your ethnicity?
Well, my parents are from Mexico.
Okay.
So I'm consider myself Latino. I speak fluent Spanish.
All right.
And we grew up pretty poor. I'd have to say, like, I didn't realize back then. My parents did a really good job hiding it from me,
Okay.
but we did. Like,
Okay.
I also have two older brothers, and they live here in Colorado, actually, 15 minutes away. And the reason I stay away from drugs is mostly because of them. They did drugs, and like they got into hardcore shit. Like they did cocaine, heroin, perks, That's just all I'm aware of. Definitely had a problem with alcohol as well, and that's mostly the reason. And because they're 10 years older than me, so my parents seeing them, they shielded me from it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig that. My father was a severe alcoholic. My brother, who I was really, really close with, he had a hard relationship with cocaine and alcohol, and he died. not as a direct result of it, but an indirect result of it. And so, I'm super. I do my own things. I do, I'm not super sober, but I'm super conscious of it though. I'm trying to be as mindful as I can, because when you see that and you see your family members, right, it changes.
Oh, it's horrible.
It is. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's really tough because you obviously love them so immensely, and to see it, you can't really control it. So, yeah, it's tough.
I'm really happy to say though that they've been sober for almost 10 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. I mean, it's not everybody's thing. You know what I mean? It's not. We can't all, eat edibles and throw up, or not eat edibles and throw up, but smoke and throw up.
Okay.
Whatever.
I've gotten high like 3 times here.
Okay. And
I just don't want to
100 back at home.
Okay.
Hey, Blondie, what do you got? What's your favorite? What's your go-to?
Yeah, I like to drink. If I'm gonna do something, it's a Friday night, Saturday night. I'm gonna pick up the bottle. I like to drink.
All right, drinking's your go-to. It's number 1.
Yeah.
All right, it's your drug.
I like it.
You are from Wisconsin.
I'm not from Wisconsin. My parents are from Wisconsin.
You have Wisconsin blood. You have Wisconsin heritage, and with people from Wisconsin I've said this before. I'll say it again a million times. They're built differently. Their livers are built differently. Their
Nolan is literally built differently.
If I trained to drink, I'd probably be pretty good at it.
You would. He would be. He would be.
I could beat you any day.
He'd be filling that leg up, and he'd be bonging out of that leg.
No, but
the amount of times
I'm gonna do.
The amount of times students have asked him.
Oh, I'll bet they have.
It's like a shoey, but out of his leg.
Yeah. I mean, it's. But, the Wisconsin folks, though, I mean, I put them against anybody in the world. The Irish, the 100%. Germans, don't care.
That's because they are the Irish and the Germans.
Yeah, I mean, they're all as in one. I mean, they're just, I have so many friends from Wisconsin, and they can drink. I've never seen humans drink alcohol like this in my life. And be so almost, not sober, but be so in control.
Yeah,
like, family, I can't do any of that.
Everyone in my family drank, and, they could drink. They could handle a lot.
But they can handle it. They're just so.
Yeah, it was very rare I ever saw my parents drunk, despite how much they drank.
Yeah.
They didn't drink a lot, obviously, because they just didn't. But it was still alcohol is a huge thing in Wisconsin.
It is, but they do it well. I mean, they do it well. All right.
When I was in Eau Claire.
Keep this one PG quick. What are you about to wait? All right. Half bottle of what?
That fun little whiskey.
Oh yeah.
What fun little whiskey is that?
Visited her in Eau Claire, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna fix your drinking problem, Lucy. We're gonna get you to drink, and you're not gonna throw up. It's gonna be great." So she's pouring 4 shots into this water.
Okay, 4 is a little excessive. It was 3.
It was 3.5. Well, what was it though? What was the boot? What was it?
I was making her a dirty Shirley, so it's just vodka.
It was vodka and 7-Up.
Sprite and grenadine. Yeah.
All right. How'd that turn out? Were you riding the porcelain bus?
No, because she was because we're you have to drink fast.
Because if you don't drink fast, if you take it, you won't get drunk. That's
Agreed.
What I'm saying. It's
your body will absorb it.
Oh, I had 5 drinks, but if you're drinking over the span of 5 hours, it's not gonna
feel like you'll
so
have
I downed that one, and then she made me another one, and I got 4 sips into it, and I was like, Herbert, I'm gonna throw up. And we were in this huge room with a bunch of people, all of our friends, and I'm just hurling into this butt. But she drank half a full bottle of whiskey, and she was fine. I was like, what the hell?
That's what I just said. She has Wisconsin genetics.
Yeah, I drank it was it was an Old Smoky.
Oh yeah.
Old Smoky.
I remember if it was, you popped right up. Did you see that? He was like, hey, wait a minute. Old Smoky's my friend.
Did you have which one did you have?
I had the Old Smoky. I think I had the salty caramel one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, you chill that. And
I'm more of a. I like the pickle one. The pickle one's really
nice.
Never
had it.
You ever had the pickle? Because there's pickles in it too. It's crazy. Yeah. It's kind of like you ever had rum watermelon.
Not a watermelon person.
No, not me either. But if you're gonna put rum in it,
right.
See, I'm asking you if you named your leg. Sierra's over here naming her bottles. All right.
Yeah. So I drank half. It was 750 milliliters. What it is?
Yeah.
Drank
It's a
half
fifth.
of it.
It's a mason jar. Yeah.
So I'm fine. I was fine, and then I think I had probably 3 or 4 beers after that, and then I got
high
then I was
noons or
drunk.
whatever.
Yeah, I think
I took an
then I got
edible.
drunk, but I was.
Right, I know.
All right.
You were in control.
I was.
So.
And even at the end of the night, I wasn't like
I
shit
know.
faced. Like, I
Alright.
didn't throw up. I didn't feel like shit the next day. I wasn't so jealous.
All right. Who's spinning now? Let's spin the wheel.
Kev, take a turn.
Kevin.
Kevin.
Come on,
Okay.
Kevin. Spin the wheel, baby. Spin the wheel.
Hardy spin.
Let's go, baby.
See, that's a good
By
By
spin,
the way,
bro. Not what you
oh,
were
see,
doing.
we're getting hung up on the ding ding there.
No, not music. This is Nolan's thing.
All right, so
I mean, we can land on music.
Land on music, yeah.
landed on music. Well, this is weird.
Who's your favorite artist, Nolan?
Guys, I don't have.
I guess I'm
favorite
losing control of this
artists.
podcast.
Like, I don't
I
go by
guess I don't get to ask
songs.
the questions anymore. Go ahead, Hugh. Go ahead.
What?
Ask him whatever question you want.
Hit me with the question.
Because I know he doesn't. I know he doesn't have one. So I asked him.
How about?
One who spun it first, just to see.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
all
see
right.
what you got, man. No.
I'm asking the question.
Yeah, you asked the question. Go ahead, ask him.
Okay, well, before I ask a question, I just want to say one thing. If Nolan's ever in a rap battle, he's going to be blasting Mozart.
But will he win though? Will he battle it
No.
out?
No.
He won't bust it down.
No.
Because Mozart, he's pretty cool. Mozart, if done in the right way. What way it is, I don't know. I'm just saying if it's done in the right way.
Lucy, you remember that video, right?
I do remember
Uh-oh,
that.
we got a good video.
No, there's this Kevin sent me a meme and he was like, "This is Nolan if he was ever in a rap battle," and it was like Eminem going like.
That's pretty funny, actually.
It was very on brand.
All right.
We'll start with a simple question. Like, why do you listen to music? Like, is it to bring emotion, or is it because you want to hear the lyrics? Nolan, because he studies it. Wacko. What's your reason for listening to music?
Me? Okay.
Anyone?
Yeah. All right, I'll go.
I was just saying, yeah, I want to hear Dad's.
I'm incredibly inspired by music. It's probably the number one, next to my kids, the number one inspiration in my life. I can't play an instrument. I play no notes. I can't sing. I can't do anything. I wish I could. But music, to me, calms me down. It is probably my number one and go-to biggest and best drug. I love, and I love all kinds of music. Like, there isn't really much I don't like. But man, does it inspire me. It inspires me to be a better person. It inspires me to do things, to tap into emotions, to be calm, to reflect. I get good emotions from it. I love the music itself, but I really, really love the lyrics. I'm a big lyric guy. So I had one of my really good friends. He passed away last year. Was a big musician, super intelligent guy, and God bless his soul, Craig. And we had great conversations about music. So he played piano, played guitar. I think he played like 20 different instruments. And he and I would have conversations because he could not listen to the lyrics. Like, he didn't hear lyrics. He's like, I hear songs because I couldn't tell you any lyrics on anything. I don't know words. I don't understand any of that. But I can hear all the music, and it's all mathematical to me. That's what I hear. And I'm the exact opposite of that. Like, the music for me is in my balls and in my heart and in my soul, and it's a feeling. But the lyrics is what I hear, and that's what gets me going.
All right. So if you don't mind, give us a lyric, like one of your favorite ones, a song.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I
Couldn't
couldn't
do
do
it.
it. It would all depend on the emotion and how I felt and what, But, I mean, I have songs, and I have a handful of different ones and such. But probably one of my closest ones is Tiny Dancer, Elton John's Tiny Dancer.
Let's say, can you show him a tattoo or are your jeans too tight?
I think it'd be the jeans are a little too tight.
He has a really cool Tiny Dancer tattoo.
I have a tattoo on my leg that's is it called an ambigram? No, not an ambigram. No, it's called, look, when you write a word one way and it says it both ways, what's it called? Anagram.
It is, yeah, it is,
Anagram.
You
Anagram.
can flip it upside down.
You can flip it upside down and flip it. Right, okay.
No, that's a different one. The upside down is a different one. But like race car, spell like race car forward and backwards.
Yeah, Taco Cat. Palindrome.
That's a palindrome. Yes.
You're the English major, bro.
This is an anagram. So mine says something different. So you read it one way, it says Tiny Dancer.
Yep.
And then if you flip my leg over the other side, it says Linda Levon, which is my sister who passed away. So when we called her Tiny Dancer, my brother and I, that was her name.
I think
I
that
think
is
it's an anagram.
That's-
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
for
super,
sure, but-
super like I'll show you guys later. It's super cool that you can see it. So, all right,
All right, Herb.
what you got, Herb?
What's up, Kev?
So,
What's the question?
What does music mean to you? Like, why do you listen to it?
I mean, I gotta agree with host Greg here. I'm really a lyrics gal. I really like to find like the meanings of songs, and if I can't understand the meaning of songs, I'll look it up, and if there's nothing on it, all of a sudden I don't like the song anymore. And so I really am a lyrics person when it comes to music, and I think I don't know, it just brings me joy, even if it's like I listen to music all the time. You think about like your daily life, whether you're in the car, you're working out, you're walking to class, like there's music all around you all the time.
Okay, but as far as lyrics go, are we talking like you like the flow, like are you more like rap or like
What's
Taylor
your
Swift
favorite
over
genre?
here?
I got a couple
Yeah,
of
give us your
genres.
top three.
I really like top three. I gotta go country, and then I really like 80s music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be alive.
A little bit of rap, but I mean not much. I kind of go with countries and 80s are kind of my main two.
Well, give us a top three artist, favorite artist.
All time.
Yeah, all time.
Probably.
Just top three if you can. It's tough.
Number one, Elton John.
Well, Billy Joel.
Billy Joel's number two, and then Zach Bryan, number three.
All right, that's fair.
Very cool.
Back to you, bro. So keep going. You're doing a great job.
Man, putting me on the spot.
No, I love it. You're doing a great
All
job.
right.
Keep going. Ask anybody, whatever.
Miss Lucita, Miss Taylor Swift.
Hello.
Now,
Miss Taylor Swift.
I know
Taylor Swift.
you listen to music when you're sad.
Well, I listen to music all the time, but I do listen to a lot of sad music. I will not lie.
And when you're sad, I mean like all the time. So like you're like, of course you're listening to music all the time.
I'm an emotional human.
So what do you feel when you're like sad? What does music help you cry? Are you using it to help bring you joy?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me, because like I'm lyrics too, but because I really because poetry is like a big thing for me, and I think poetry is just music, but with like lyrics are just poetry. And so I think the biggest thing is that when I can like relate to a song, like when a song is like really like, damn, that's what I'm feeling right now.
So like heartbreak.
Yeah. Thank you, Kev. So Miss Taylor Swift has gotten me through a lot. But even because she's written a lot of songs about mental health too. Like her song Mirrorball is one of my favorite songs ever because she talks all about how the whole point of the song is that like mirror balls and like disco balls are in like the center of a stage and they reflect light and they light everyone up around them. But then when you turn the lights off and they're all alone, like they just sit there and no one's paying attention to them. No one sees them. They're not doing anything and they kind of just like are dark again. And so that's like one of my favorite songs by her. And I just think she writes in such a way like I really love her lyrics, but it's also the way that she produces them that like hits with them because I think her music production is also really well. Jack Antonoff produces all of her music.
Love Jack Antonoff.
Yes.
Just want to say, love him.
And so I think it's just like it helps me feel less alone when I'm sad because it's like, okay, there's other people who have felt this and can put it into words. You know, the way to put it. And I don't like when people diss on me for liking Taylor Swift or like just Taylor Swift in general because that's still like a very big like hate train that people do. Just to point out, she had the largest attended concert ever in all of history, beating out Madonna, female artist, beating out Madonna with 69,000 attendance at her opening night in Glendale, Arizona.
This Taylor Swift you keep bringing up, is she pretty popular?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I've only listened to her a little bit. I only know a few songs.
She sold a few records in her
Yeah,
time.
there's
She's been around for a little bit.
I want to go on one of those websites that can like tell how many times you've played songs and just look
We did
at
that.
your-
Oh, well, like Spotify Wrapped? Like
yeah,
Apple
well,
Music?
yeah, that. Yeah, but there's like sites that like can break down your like Spotify history and see how many times you've played songs. I would love to see how many plays you have on some Taylor Swift songs.
Well,
Didn't
no,
Apple-
'cause
doesn't
Apple
that-
does do
Apple
that a little
Music
bit.
does
They
I
that.
don't
do
know
that,
if
yeah.
it's as
Oh, right,
accurate.
you're on Apple Music. That's right. Yeah.
I
you.
know. I'm
forgot.
sorry.
You.
But I think my top 10 songs were all Taylor Swift last year. Number 1 was All Too Well, the 10-minute version. And I think I played that like over 400 times.
I believe it.
Rough year, huh? Yeah.
But
That's at least once a day.
yeah. know.
That's all right. Hey, I can dig that. I mean, Prince was my guy. So
Yeah.
growing
I
up,
listen to it when I'm happy. Like I listen to that song when I'm happy because I'm just like, I don't get it. Yeah.
Swifty. Taylor Swift is
I would
a
do
goddess.
anything for her concerts.
Someone open
Will
the door.
someone? Yeah, go let him in.
Somebody go let
get
our
him,
guy
Nolan.
in. He's delivering or doing
Go get him,
something.
Nolan.
With one leg, get up.
Yeah, that's great. Seriously. He let me in too. You guys make the guy with one leg get up to go get the door.
Oh, he's
He
got 2 legs
deserves
on right
it.
now. He's fine.
He does have them both.
He's
It'd
got
be
them
cool
both
if he
on right
hopped
now.
over there though.
Oh, that's too low. Yeah, no, he lives here.
He's also our silly little goose anyway.
Yeah, all right. So it's okay.
So Mr. Hugh.
Yeah.
So Mr. Ox, right?
That is.
He's always on the speaker, and you listen to wide varieties of music. Like sometimes we'll be questioning your music taste, right, Lucy?
No, yeah, he plays like
Everything.
everything, but it's always so good. Like it fits the mood exactly. It's insane. He has like the best taste I think I've ever seen someone with music in. Like I just
That's
love
awesome. You're the human DJ,
Yeah.
right? You know the vibe of the room and you can feel it.
I basically make the vibe of the room.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
honestly. My father, everything goes back to my dad. My dad is like the biggest he's like me. I have to have music playing all the time or else like my thoughts aren't coherent, you know? So I was raised, my dad's favorite artists were the Beatles, specifically George Harrison. He would play a lot of George Harrison solo stuff too. And Frank Sinatra, and he loves jazz. So I grew up listening to a ton of John Coltrane and Miles Davis and all of the Blue Note guys. Thelonious Monk was another favorite of his, or Thelonious, excuse me. But yeah, and then my whole family, like none of them can play anything, which is the craziest part. None of them can play any kind of music, but they all, we all are really, really passionate about it. And that's music to me is emotion. Like that's how I've always interpreted it. 'Cause like I have oh no, did you spill the marker again, bro?
No, it's good.
Okay. Because I have every memory I have a song associated with it. Like everything has always had something like that.
Agreed.
Like my grandfather, who I was really close with, he didn't speak much, so the way he spoke to me almost was through music. And we would listen to his favorite. We would always listen to Kind of Blue and Roundabout Midnight by Miles Davis. Those were his 2 favorite records in the world. And he also really liked A Love Supreme, which is one of the best things ever put to tape by John Coltrane.
So wait, real quick though, why didn't he speak much?
He
didn't
was
want
just
to?
like he was the quintessential American stoic man. Like
All
that's-
right.
his parents came from Croatia.
Okay.
He was completely Croatian. His name was Joe Naglic, and his parents, he was like, they were going to get swept up in the Nazis taking over, so they got out. They were like some of the last people to get out of the country. And then they moved to, first they moved to like really like almost the very edge of Michigan before the UP. And then they moved down to Detroit, and that's where he stayed for his entire life. He was there from when he was 15 until he died in 2018.
Wow.
He was there forever, and he was everything to me. Like I respected him like so much, and he was always I never heard him speak more than maybe like 5-10 words a day. My favorite memory of him is we were playing golf one day because that's the only things he did was play golf, fix things because he was an IBM repairman. That was his thing for his whole life, and that's how I met my grandmother actually, which is another great story. But we were playing golf when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. It was him, me, and my dad, and he hadn't said a word the whole day. We're on like the back nine somewhere. We're close to the end. We're all tired, and he is about to shoot his shot, and then he stops and looks up, and these 3 foxes run across the field, and he just turns back to me and goes, "Goddamn foxes, we ought to shoot them." And that's the only thing he said for the rest of the day. He didn't speak a word for the rest of the day. And my dad went, "Damn right, Joe," and then we moved on.
Damn right, Joe.
And then we moved on.
That's great.
Yeah. But yeah, I love music. It's just like it's everything to me. Like Nolan is samba. Kevin is like Latin. It's hard for me to like put a pigeonhole in it because you're like Latinx rap, but you're like it's not like Bad Bunny Latinx rap. It's like
No, not
It's
Bad
not.
Bunny.
It's
But
not.
I got beef with Bad Bunny, but
you do, yeah. And then Lucy's like acoustic modern basically. But I know so much. Like there's always, if I'm not listening to music, there's music playing in my head. Like I've been listening to music through my brain the whole time. So,
Yeah.
And then
I hear that.
everyone like has music or a lyric associated with them. Like with Joe, my grandpa Joe, I've always thought there's this one Elliott Smith lyric that's I'm never gonna know you now, but I'm always gonna love you anyhow. Which I never really got to know him. I never knew him much well at all. But I always love him to death because he's everything to me. You know.
That's so great.
Yeah.
His legend lives on.
Yeah.
Definitely lives on.
Yeah, so I just love music, which is why I almost feel like I need to try to learn how to play it, because like it's how
To give it respect.
basically
back.
that's basically how I feel about it. Yeah, because like if I can learn how to play the song, I love learning the stories behind songs too.
Yeah.
Like my favorite song at the moment is this song "Dark Sweet Lady" by George Harrison,
Okay.
which is just about his wife and how he was having like this really hellish period from like the mid 70s in like the middle 70s from like 74 to 77, and then him and his wife just got married and went to Hawaii, and he just they were up one night and he just was looking at her and he just realized how much he just absolutely loved her and was happy that she had stuck with him through all the like turmoil they had gone through, and so he wrote her a song called Dark Sweet Lady, which is about her.
All right.
And it's beautiful. Like it's very simple, but it's like it's got the George Harrison slide guitar that he always played,
Right.
and it's amazing, you know.
Yeah, there are so much. I mean, there's so much. It's endless. There's. I'm trying to think of the song. Well, the name of the song is "Sound of Silence."
Yeah,
You know,
by Simon Garfunkel,
yeah, that's the
yeah.
original. Is the Simon
Yeah,
Garfunkel.
yeah.
But you know who remade it? Like maybe 5 years ago.
Wasn't it Nine Inch Nails? Wasn't it them? They did a cover of it.
No, it
one
wasn't
point.
9 Inch.
They did a cover.
They
of it.
might have, but gosh darn it, I really want to know who this was. I just can't, it's on the tip of my tongue. And Sound of Silence, but maybe 5 years ago it came out. And I'm having a brain fart right now. Remembering who the group that sang it, and it's a hardcore group.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly I couldn't tell you who it is either.
And
though,
he
yeah.
sings it, in my opinion, he sings it like an opera. Disturbed.
Oh, Disturbed.
Dude,
yeah.
have you heard that version?
I have, yeah.
To me, that is freaking unbelievable. And so I did go and research it because I was so drawn. When he sang that, I was just like, I mean, I knew the song as growing up as a kid,
Yeah.
but never heard it like that and was so moved by it every time I had heard it. So I looked up what the meaning, what Simon and Garfunkel, when they wrote it, what it meant. And do you know what it means?
Vaguely, not like actually.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
They said it means nothing. The lyrics mean zero. We have no meaning behind the song. We just wrote these lyrics and we wrote these words. There was absolutely zero trace of anything that we can trace it back to that we could tell you about. We just wrote the song. It was like, oh man, you just like destroyed that song for me. Like, holy shit. But I still love the way that Disturbed sings.
It's haunting.
Just,
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
His voice is just incredible, the way he sings that. And it starts out just so low, and then he brings it up, and it gives me chills. So, all right. I mean, like, what does music mean to you?
to me,
Yeah, you're, I mean, it's a great question. It's really a great question.
well, usually, I mean, I don't really use music for when I'm sad or like anything like that. I listen to the message, so I'm with Herb on this one. Like, I love Kendrick, and I love like a lot of the messages behind his songs.
Okay.
And I also listen for like the flow and like how it all comes together.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like I'll just be jamming out to music, and it just makes me so happy that I don't know what to do with myself. Like,
Right.
like I'm just like overjoyed, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do? You know. So for me, music is like, you know, the message. It's also a form, like a way to express yourself. Like I feel like it's it's communicating with the audience. So it's not only like you're not just putting music out there to put music out there, but you're doing it for some reason. Whether it's like you enjoy doing it, you want to get a message across. And I think they're like musicians and, you know, songwriters,
They're the
singers.
greatest people. How they
Yeah,
can
like-
communicate with tone.
And they have so much influence. Like, I know Lucy would die if she met Taylor Swift. Like,
I would. I
She literally might have died, right?
literally just watching videos of her tour on TikTok. Like, I was in my room, I was like crying. Not even because I'm sad that I wasn't there, but just because she looks so happy and she looks so like connected with her audience, and she hasn't been able to tour for so long, and it's just. She knows the impact that she has, and she knows the influence that she has on people, and I think she's just so proud of it and everything.
She's
and
very self-aware.
and it
Yeah,
makes
that's
me
what makes her
just
great.
so happy to see her be able to connect with fans again. Even though I do wish that
Wait.
was me, though. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. So when I was 18, I lived in Detroit. I grew up in Detroit. And when I was 18, I was heavily influenced by Prince. Prince was my number one. I was influenced by rock and roll, but I really wasn't educated or understood it until I became older as an adult when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. But when I was like probably 12, up until whenever, 18 or so, Prince was my number one. Like, I was so engaged with. He talked to me. Prince was my Taylor Swift. And so when I was 18, I got out of high school. I had a friend who skated in the Ice Capades. You know what the Ice Capades are?
No.
They're like it was pretty cool back in the day. It was like Disney on ice.
Okay.
And ice skates and stuff. You know, it was a production and stuff. And she was a very talented ice skater. It was a big deal back in the 80s. And so she moved to Duluth to skate. And she was like, hey, do you want to come up here and live with me? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to Minneapolis because Prince had just built Paisley Park. And I'm like, I'm going to go work there. I packed up my car and I just drove there to like just knock on the door. I had no plan. I was just like, I just wanted to be by him. I just wanted to be in that vibe. That's how kind of weird and crazy and effed up it is. And I did not end up having the guts to go in, but I did pull into the parking lot and like looked around and was so awestruck, and then I drove away. I was so scared I drove away, and then I went to Duluth and hung out with her. But I always remember that, and then regretting just massively that when he died, I was just heartbroken. Like took my breath away. I imagine it was like how people felt like when Elvis suddenly died back in the. I mean, there's just certain artists. Like, God forbid that Taylor Swift would die. You almost are touched as a human being. I mean, I was so touched by his music and so moved by it. It guided me through so many things in my life that, when he died, I mean, Lucy made me a cake. She made me a cake.
That's
a
so
Prince
sweet,
cake.
Lucy.
It was sweet. You should have seen it.
Fondue and
Yeah, it was
stuff.
horrible. It tasted like absolute dog
So
shit.
bad.
It was
But
disgusting.
it looked so cool.
It really did, and it was crazy when he passed. And then I was pissed. I went through all the stages of grief, and I was mad because I wanted to see him. I wanted to be invited to Paisley Park and hang out and in that. So whatever. It
Did
happens.
you ever see him in concert or not?
Yeah, I've seen him many times in concerts, handful of times. I saw him on his birthday in Detroit. It was his birthday. It was the same day as my brother's birthday. Did we have guests that wanted to come and join us?
I know they could have joined.
I don't know those men. So
yeah, we don't know.
I kind of like.
They're
the
not
little,
students?
No, they are.
All right.
God,
We
I
just don't know.
All
We don't know.
11,000 students that go here.
You don't?
No,
You
we're
should. You
not.
better
I
get on
know.
it. Yeah.
I'm working on it.
So-
Okay, I got 3.
Right.
Too low. That was too low.
Should we ask Nolan?
All right. So
Or-
Nolan,
or-
I actually do have a question for
I
you.
mean, you're the music man, so
So-
yeah, maybe dial it in how you want to dial it in.
So, Mr. Nolan, right? So we're talking about how music touches you, right? Like, for example, when I'm in my car, I want to be bopping. There's no way you put like some classical music. Like, I just don't believe that, right? But no, like, okay, but I want to know how you think music without songs, how they use that as a form of communication or a way to touch people.
So, like I said, growing up as a musician, I grew up performing, not a lot, but definitely in ensembles. So my perspective, compared to all of you, is like completely different, because music to me is like I will never view music as displaying like a message until I get to the technical like mastery of my instrument, because like you can't display or convey a message until you have absolute mastery of like how to play that instrument. So like we see like singing and lyrics make this like delivery of the message a lot easier, because it combines like it's a literal audible message that is into your ear. Some are more like complicated and complex, and some like can be analyzed over and over and over, and you'll get a different message each time. And some are very straightforward in their lyrics. But just in general, like lyrics really help, at least when focusing on a specific culture. Like if you're focusing on by language or by style or by like region, lyrics just add another element of community throughout music. But in classical and jazz and like samba or like rhythmic, just anything without these lyrics, it really, you put the conveying of the message into the hands of the artist. Like as an audience, you truly have no say in like how it's interpreted, because there's a really interesting science behind music theory of like how certain chords and how certain like rhythms and progressions like sway, like actually change how you feel. So like the scary part of that is like manipulation. Like I think in theory like music can be used to like not
control.
Obvious, yeah, it can be used to control. And I always viewed music as like, because of this like fear of like control for it and fear of like what, of like trying to convey the right message, I always like focused more on the actual like present time simple performance of it. So last year for my trip to other than symphony orchestra, I also participated in a group in my senior year called Touch of Class. So it was a choreo and string ensemble of probably like, I'm going to say 30 people. So we had violins, violas, cellos. We had a string bass guitar and a drummer. And we danced and played at the same time, which was really fun. And we got to do some really cool gigs. And we played all sorts of music. So we played like Danny Boy. We played Mamma Mia. We played tangos. We played classical, like typical waltzes and stuff. We played everything. And then we would do these gigs like weekly. We would have weekly rehearsals for like 4 hours, and then these gigs every like, I don't know, sometimes Thursdays or Fridays, where we'd go to like country clubs or bars or just like banquets, like Nina banquets, and we'd play. And then the final, like we had 3 big performances. Like we had opener where we played with like show choir and the jazz ensemble for our school. And then we had at the PAC, the Performing Arts Center in Appleton, and you may have heard of it, maybe not. We played with Mark Wood, one of the violinists from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Have you ever heard of that?
Yep.
Yeah, we played with his group and did like a whole like Christmas ensemble. So like the rock Christmas songs that you hear a lot,
Right
like
on.
Mart. We played all of those, and then finally in June, I think, we went to Croatia and toured 5 cities in Croatia, like ranging from like 3 hours apart, and stayed in a central thing. And that group was the like closest I've ever gotten to a group of people, like in the shortest amount of time throughout my life.
Why do you feel like that's because you all had the same objective in trying to execute to perfection? Or
I
to what you
still
wanted?
like distanced myself from them because I was new. Like as a senior, I was
plus
still
you
new.
have intimacy.
Yeah,
Right.
and the like skill-wise, like as a musician, I always doubt my skill. Like it's like just something that happens. Like regardless of what you're doing, you always have self-doubt. And then so that I always put like kind of a barrier between myself and them, but performance like forced me to like destroy that barrier. Like because every night, regardless of like if I was happy or sad going into this, we would perform and we had to put on a show and we had to smile. Like we could not frown, like we were forced to put on like a facade, I guess. But because of that like external pressure to do well and have fun performing, it really like just naturally forced me to become close with this group of people. So I formed some pretty good bonds with them, and it was just really fun performing.
Do you have fun performing? I mean, do you have fun today?
Yeah, like like improvising is one of my favorite things to do. Just because like I would have like even now I could probably take my cello and go play Town for a bit. Like I've dreamed of doing that, like just for fun.
Right.
So like that's just so fun to like.
You should do that.
Just play for people and
you need to do that.
Because obviously like receiving gratitude from others is just it's
right.
like you're gonna like it regardless.
You're
but
the leader.
The just music in general, like I don't know much about the theory. Like I know the basics, and like my mom was a music teacher, so I learned a lot about music, but I didn't have. I think the like birth defects like hindered. Like that's the one thing I do regret is I do think they hindered my ability to play. Like there's just some like hesitation or imperfection that makes, like, for example, like bowing, like it's not as perfect as it could be. So that's like just dealing with that struggle. I think I've done well enough and I can perform well enough, but I also think like I don't ever will have like a solid mastery.
My guess is, from the outsider's perspective, which is probably 99.9% of people, is that you are probably so incredibly good at it. That I know
Yes,
you
he
don't.
is.
Right, I know.
He is.
I can guess that. I mean, you can tell already. You can tell. I haven't even really heard you ever, but I'm guessing that you are, and you can tell, just because your confidence is so high. I mean, you got great confidence, and maybe it's just because you overcome. Right?
Yeah.
They say that people that lose one sense, that they have such the ability, because the human body is incredible. But you obviously haven't lost the ability to feel it.
Yeah, and hearing is a big thing too. Like if I lost my hearing, it would be the end of it. Like I genuinely don't
crazy,
know
wouldn't it?
what
Wouldn't
I would
that be
do.
Horrible?
Yeah, like I would rather stab both my eyes out, or
that would be
like
rough.
cut my other legs
to be deaf
off
would be
than be deaf. But I mean, Mozart did it. He was deaf and still composed, but it would suck losing hearing. Yeah. So that's the thing I probably value the most, being able to listen. And like the other funny thing too is like I'm always like kind of jealous or envious of like your guys' knowledge of music, because like for example like with Spotify, I joined Spotify like last year because like I never like went out of the way to buy the prescription. It was like I'm not listening to ads, so I'm not gonna go discover or search for music. But because of that, I spent more time just trying to practice and play my instrument rather than learn like this variety of music that I think you guys have. So I do appreciate all of you sharing it as well. So it is like I love getting the perspective from like an audience's, because you get to see like how your performance impacts others, which is really cool. So
people are moved, right? And they're all moved in different ways. Like obviously.
And regardless of like your understanding of music too.
Yeah,
like you can listen to classical and like I'll know the technicalities behind it, and
I don't know
I'll
anything.
be able to visualize it, but we'll still both
enjoy
it because it's a like psychological.
It's a universal
effect.
language. There's no question about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The world would be a bad place if we didn't have music.
Mm-hmm.
The world would be a bad place. All right, let's spin this wheel. Who's spinning? Herb, why don't you spin it? Let's see what you got.
I like how Kev asked the questions, and we kind of went around. He had like kind of a different question for everyone. So maybe whoever spins it then can ask, and then you can ask them. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. You can spin again if you don't want to ask about that.
What is it?
It's LGBTQ.
And then realize she has a mic.
I don't care.
What?
What do you mean?
That's a scary issue.
What is that?
She's not.
Well, I'm not either.
I am.
Yeah, that's okay.
I am. Yay.
So you want to ask? You want her to ask questions?
Yeah.
Or do you want to have Kevin ask questions?
What's the category?
What is it?
LGBTQ.
Oh, all right. So.
All right. I love
actually,
it.
I see you holding that mic. Like, all right, guys.
I can talk.
So, Lucy, how are you on both sides and still get no bitches?
Oh.
No,
Okay.
no, honestly.
First of all, Kevin.
Let's reiterate that question, so May. I want to make it clear that everybody can hear it. He asked, how? He said, how can you be on both sides and not get no bitches?
Hearing my dad say that to me is wild. Genuinely wild.
That's why I wanted to say it.
Let's see. It's crazy. Women are terrifying.
Oh, so true. Oh my god.
We all agree with
And
you.
I
men
think everyone
suck.
agrees. I probably agree with all that, too.
So that is how I get no bitches. And everyone is just so intimidated by me because I'm so sexy and cool and hot and funny. Yeah.
Confidence is riding high tonight.
My confidence
By
is always
everybody.
riding high.
By everybody,
Owen is
not
shaking
just
in his
you.
boots right now.
Everyone.
Okay.
All right.
You got a real question?
Yeah, so on a real note.
That's a real question.
So, we went out to a gay bar, like a gay club the
Yeah.
other day. For me, obviously, that's just not my thing, and it's okay. I was uncomfortable there, but like
You were or weren't?
I was uncomfortable.
You were a little bit?
I was a little uncomfortable. I wasn't having like all the pictures of me. I was like frowning in all of them.
Oh, you were? What made you feel uncomfortable? I mean,
I don't know. I was fine with going, but then they put makeup on me, which I have no problem with. Lucy's done it before, whatever.
All right.
But it was the fact that they were like putting makeup on me and dressing me up to go to a gay bar, and I was like, well, I don't know. That made me
all
uncomfortable.
right.
Not
yeah,
bar,
you just go
but
by
club.
yourself. Go as yourself, right? Probably
Yeah,
more-
exactly.
All
It
right.
just wasn't
Exactly.
your scene. Like, it just wasn't your vibe, and that's totally okay.
Well,
like,
they might have.
Yeah.
All right.
But like,
All right, I get it. I didn't know that they had done that.
yeah.
That made me feel a little uncomfortable too. Like I'm not. Like I feel like I'd be the same way. Like I'd be like, I don't care. You can put it on me. I'll wear a dress and put makeup on and stuff. I was gonna go to a cigar dinner once. It was a women's only cigar dinner, and I'm like, oh, that's sexist. That's bullshit. I wanted to go because there was a cigar roller there that was whatever, and me and this other guy were gonna go. We were gonna go dress up as women, and like, but I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it hardcore where you can't really tell that I'm a dude. And I didn't want to shave
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to give that
You
up.
would do it. You would.
Oh, I'd
yeah.
do it. I would look hot. Are you kidding me?
But I definitely think there is
Smoking hot
like
woman.
a different like degree of like comfortability, and like it doesn't like mean anything about like, oh, like you're homophobic, Kevin, because you were uncomfortable around gay people. But like, no, like that's so valid that like if you didn't like want a man shaking his ass in your face, like I get that. And if you didn't want to be presented as something you're not, like I feel like that's the same way as if like someone who like if like a female like genuinely dresses like very like masculine, like to like dress them up and put them in like dresses and make them be something that they're not. Like it's just anyone I think would feel uncomfortable.
oh yeah, for sure. Like I'm gonna be that type of dad that I'm gonna dress up in like dresses to make my little
Yeah.
princess like happy, stuff like that. Like I have no problem with that. But it was just a scene,
No,
and
that makes
But like Lucy, your experience, I don't know, like just. How have you felt here? Have you felt welcomed by us? Like,
Yeah.
have you been any bad experiences here so far? Things that you'd like
I
to
mean,
change?
At DU, so just put on record, I'm bisexual or like queer. Like I kind of just like float between the two.
Slay.
And I was really lucky growing up in the fact that like I had really supportive friends for the most part, and like my parents were really supportive. Like I felt safe everywhere that I went. And I was very like, I'm not gonna take like shit from anyone for this and stuff like that. And being here, it's been pretty much like the same. And Denver's like, Colorado's pretty gay. There's a lot of gay people here. There's a lot of queer women. And I think there's definitely been a resurgence.
There's a lot of gay people everywhere. They're just.
I know, but
They're just not.
definitely-
It's not accepted.
Granola girls are like real big here. Like
Yeah, it's
bi
cool.
girls, there's a lot of bisexuals here. And I think that also comes from the fact of it's, at least for women, it's starting to become more of like a normalcy, or like that it's just like more accepted. I think men still have like a long way to go with the fact that like bi men are not as accepted as bi women. But
Men can't even have anxiety accepted or their mental health by
yeah,
society.
no, I know.
We're not going to. Society's not going to accept our sexuality, for Christ's sake.
That's true.
But there has been like situations, not necessarily here, but like like I've been through situations where like people have like like done not nice things to me. And like, or like people have like told me to like pick a side and things like that, or oh, I'm not really gay because like, oh, I haven't officially been with a woman. That's the one thing that I feel like is sometimes I feel like judged by other like gay girls because it's like I'm just not as experienced, and so sometimes I feel like I like am not like a true gay or like I'm not like a true queer.
That sucks.
Yeah. So that definitely sucks. And then it's like you're also like I'm scared to like try stuff with some girls because then it's like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna judge me because like I don't know what to do and things like that. So it's kind of like I'm a little like stuck in that sense of it. Or people who are like, oh, like you have to date a girl next or you have to do this with a girl next. It's like I would like to. But then it's also like, oh shoot, like what if I fall for a man next? And then people are just gonna think I'm like faking this or that, things like that. And so that stuff is hard.
Who gives a shit what people think?
Well, I'm working on it, but
And that's completely valid, of course.
It is.
So do you think that contributes to you like not getting into the scene more? Like,
yeah, I definitely think a little bit. And also the way that I feel like I mean, like, I think that I don't present like very gay. Like, I wish I had more of like, I don't know, like more like butch or like mask mentality, but that's just like not who I am. Like I love getting up in my little dresses and I love like princess treatment and things like that, but it's just I would want it from a woman. And I think that it's hard for other girls to sometimes tell if I'm gay. That's the other thing that is really hard. Is to know when a girl is flirting versus when she's just being nice.
God,
like, you
so
wanna be
true.
friends.
Jesus. Oh my God.
How do you think guys feel
Well,
towards
I mean,
you?
that's the same thing with.
I mean,
what
how do you think?
mean?
No, I mean, how do you think guys feel towards you?
About being gay or like by being.
Yeah, like how
Well,
do you?
there's
That's got to be
definitely-
tough for guys to want to get close to you.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not sure I'd want to get close to you if you're gonna be like, well, I mean, I might be concerned. I might have.
About like cheating or things like that?
No, I'd have hesitation that. Well, you're not gonna love me because you're gonna fall in love with somebody else, or
But I think that's
Maybe.
with anyone. It's just regardless of
Yeah.
gender. Because that is like a very big like misconception or like stereotypes about bisexuals that's gone
Yeah.
back between like gay people say
yeah,
it
break
about
that down
bisexuals
for us.
and straight people say it about is that because they're into both, like they're more likely to cheat
You're a
or they're
whore,
sluts, yeah, they're greedy, and things like that. But like I see it more so as I have like double the pool to choose from and I still choose you. Like that's how I would see it.
Oh, that's pretty
And-
cool. That's a great
and
perspective.
I think like cheating has nothing to do with sexuality or things like that, or like trust and anything like that. So like with guys, like I feel like it's very much so like the same thing. It's like I could be totally worried about you cheating with another girl. Like I don't think being bisexual has anything to do with that. And I think people who think that are just either like uneducated or they have their own trust issues and that's their own deal.
Well, there are a lot of people like that. I mean, they don't
yeah,
know.
I
They
know.
don't know. That's why you're talking, right? That's why you ask a good question.
yeah.
But
Attaboy.
no, I think that's, and I mean, like, I love, like, being queer. Like, I think it's great, and there's a really great community here. But you're right, like, I haven't gotten necessarily into the scene, I guess, as much as I sometimes wish that I had. And some guys, there is something, like, I've definitely met some guys who are, like, I did a whole research about kissing girls and, like, how straight men don't view lesbianism as, like, a real thing. Because, like, I've been told by guys before, like, that I've dated, like, oh, you can kiss a girl, like, that's fine, because that's hot. And, like, they don't consider that cheating, because they think it's hot, and they don't view two girls being attracted to each other as, like, real, or, like, valid. And so I did a whole thing about that, where I went around, and I asked frat boys at parties. I asked them their sexuality, and then I asked them if they thought guys kissing guys was hot, and then if they thought girls kissing girls was hot, and then if they would let their girlfriend kiss another guy, and if they would let their girlfriend kiss another girl. And a lot of the results were that guys would find the girls kissing girls hot, and that they would let their girlfriend kiss another girl.
I'd be fuming personally.
Good, and that's wonderful. Like, I think they think they're being inclusive when they say that, and they're being but really it's just demoralizing us and showing us that you still only see
Well,
women
it's a sexuality.
as
It's a
sex
sexual,
objects,
right.
yeah, and that we can't have actual love and attraction.
Well, maybe I don't know if it's that far. I don't know if the second statement you made was that you can't, but that they see it as a sexual object
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
That's first, and then may or may not the
Or like
second.
when guys tell me like, oh, they can turn me, or like I have lesbian friends who have been told by guys that they
Well,
can
yeah,
turn
right.
them. Like when you go up to a girl and you ask her, and she's like, no, I'm a lesbian.
Right.
There's some guys that will be like, oh,
It's not
I
a
can
choice.
change that. It's like, no, you can't.
Right, it's not a choice. Wish it was a choice. I'd be gay. If I could be gay, I'd be gay.
See, me too. If I could just like eliminate the man
Can't.
part, I'd be out.
Right. Women drive me nuts. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, so Mr. Hugh, I want to get your opinion on all this because, of course, as Lucy said, being a man, much tougher into like getting accepted, and especially with like Catholic families, especially especially like my family's from Mexico.
Yeah.
Latin America still needs like to progress a lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. But fortunately, my parents are accepting. Like, even if I was like, I feel I'd be pretty accepted. But what about you, Hugh?
So I'm also bisexual. I see it as a very like fluid thing for me. It's a day by day is how I almost view it. But yeah, like you said, I was raised Catholic, and that was really tough for it because when I'm home or I started having thoughts and feelings about it when I like first started thinking about things like that. So I was probably like 8 or 9 or something like that. I don't really know. But like I found myself attracted to both men and women. And at some point, somehow, some way, that got brought up to one of my priests. And he looked me in the eyes and said, "Oh, just stop thinking about that. That's not actually. You don't think that. That's not true. That's not an actual thing you're going through. You're making that up in your head. Stop thinking about it, and God will forgive you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
It just seems so
And-
absurd
and-
nowadays.
and, like, I had-
it's like so
I was raised
bizarre.
with the fear of God in me. So I was raised. My uncle's a priest, and he was in the military. Like he's a military chaplain. So I was raised by a very devout Catholic family. My mother works for the church, and so I kind of always viewed I always viewed it as like a supreme authority. What they say goes. So when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, I need to just cut that out then. And that made me fiercely homophobic. I was incredibly homophobic from when I was about 9 until I was about 15. It was a really bad period because it was purely out of my own repression. They made me into my own worst enemy. And I would still have these thoughts and these feelings, and it was awful because it made me like incredibly depressed. It made me hate myself.
Right.
It made me see myself as like
Something's wrong with
as
you.
a bad person. Like
Yeah.
there was something wrong with me, and I couldn't change it.
Right.
And yes, it was really bad. And then when I was about 15 or so, I came out to my best friend Joey, and he was very accepting of it. He told me he loved me, gave me a hug. And that was the first time I had ever felt validated in my own self, because I really struggle with self-confidence just in general, and so hearing like myself say that to someone, and them fully accepting me for who I am, it was a very good experience for me, and then I had to grapple with the fact that I do still consider myself Catholic, and so many Catholics, including a large portion of my family, view homosexuality as like as a demonic thing, as like a horrible sin. Like if I were to ever tell my grandmother, bless her heart, about it, I would get hit over the head with a rolling pin for sure. Like there's no way. But it was just it's something that that has always been like the great grapple in my life. Like. My father, thank the Lord, is his best friend is gay. He was my dad was raised hyper Catholic to the point where he rebelled from it when he went to college. He completely decided he was agnostic now. He didn't believe in any of it. He thought there was something, but he didn't think it was that. And his roommate was this man named Bob O'Connell, who is a great guy. Love him to death. He's a very flamboyant gay man. and he came in. It's a great. He walks in. He's 3 hours late. He was supposed to show up 3 hours ago to drop his stuff off so they could go to orientation. Bob skipped all of that. He went to a bar.
Attaboy.
He went to a bar. He got hammered, and then he showed up with something that he completely forgot one of his bags somewhere, and they had to go get it the next day. But he walks in, he drops his bag, snaps, and goes, "Hey!" He has a pink polo on, popped collar, green, like mint green shorts, and Doc Martens on. It's a great. They have a picture of it. It's beautiful. It's hilarious. Right. I love Bob. It was 1983, so that was great. So I was raised. It was very weird because when I was at home and with my whole family, it was like a very negative thing. But then when we would go spend, because every summer we would spend 2 weeks with Bob, and it was just like my mother's attitude completely changed. Like she was a completely different
open-minded.
person. She was completely open-minded. She was a completely different person. But like then I would hear her say these things that was just like completely contradictory to what I saw her doing. And my mother has changed. I do believe when I come out to her, she will be accepting of it. But there definitely was a long period of time where she wouldn't be like that. And I feel like it's getting better in my family and in the church. But personally, it's always been a great struggle. And then like coming to terms with it myself, like I was afraid of it for so long. I was afraid of all that because I was like, oh well, I'm doing something terrible. I'm thinking awful things. And then eventually I did end up having an experience with a guy almost because I felt like I had to do it so that I would know I didn't feel that way. And then when that didn't happen, it just caused more turmoil in my head.
Right.
And I didn't fully come to accept myself for who I still don't really have a full self-confidence in who I am. But I've come to accept myself in that aspect. But that still didn't happen until I was about 16, 17. And then I started having better experiences. I came out to a lot of my friends, and it was good. It was very positive, and I've come to accept myself for who I am in that way. And since coming to DU, it's been nice because I felt like I've been able. I was so afraid of expressing myself for who I was back home. Especially because I went to Catholic school from when I was 3 years old until I was 18.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
you went to parochial school
I went to
time.
Catholic school the whole time. I wore a uniform every day for 15 years.
Right.
It was khakis and a polo shirt, and that was it.
Right.
And if your polo shirt wasn't buttoned 2 buttons, you were going to detention.
Yep.
So, in grade school, I had to wear a vest too.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
to wear,
Sweater vest.
But it wasn't a sweater vest. It was just a sweater vest. With no sleeves.
No sleeves. Yeah, just a sleeveless sweater vest.
Yep, sleeveless sweater vest. It was horrible. It was so ugly. I think about, I looked terrible.
You never know, that fashion may come around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You never know.
Now I really want I don't want a sweater vest, but I do want a sweater now because I really do like sweaters. But since coming here, I've been able, I've felt much more able to express myself. Because I've always wanted to be flamboyant. I've always that's why this is around my wrist. That's
right.
why that's why my hair is pink. That's why I have an earring in my right ear. Because now I feel like I can actually live for who I want to be. Because back home I feel like I was living for my parents. I was living to do what they wanted me to do. And now that I'm here and I'm away from them, it's completely different. And I've had positive experiences with the queer community here. And they've had positive experience with me, but
right.
Yeah, it's been good.
So, are you out at home? Your parents don't know?
I'm not out.
They better not watch this podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't.
We talked about that.
Yeah, my mother and father don't use YouTube, so it's okay.
All right.
It's
the internet, though.
Yeah, they won't find anything. They're not too technology bright. I don't really. The thing is, when they find out, they find out at this point. I'm comfortable enough with myself at this point that, I'd prefer it be over dinner. I'm hey, by the way, I'm bi. But I don't care if they find out from someone. That's how my mother found out about my pink hair. My cousin Sean just accidentally brought it up one day to her, and now she knows. So
okay.
Yeah, it just is what it is. I'm comfortable with it. I feel like I can, because I try to, now that I've been here, I try to present myself a lot more, because I'm a rather imposing person. I look kind of threatening. Especially back when I had brown hair, I looked kind of threatening. And so I try to present myself as very effeminate, which is why I love to wear a lot of bright colors and like pinks and greens and yellows. Because I just feel like it better expresses who I actually am, you know?
Dig it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Really moving story. So we're gonna switch it back over here with Herb. So, you and Lucy,
Yeah.
best of friends, I would say. How was it like growing up? Did you ever feel like you had to beat up a girl because of something or whatever? Because I know you'd fuck up a guy for Lucy, but like, you know,
I
like.
don't think there's ever been a girl. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's ever been a girl that I've.
No, because like the only girls that like I'm sorry, you know I like to touch you. I like to be near you. The only girls that I've ever like come close to like dating or like that I've like been heartbroken by, I'm still like friends with. Like we still, it's just different with like girls.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a girl that I've ever like. There have definitely been multiple guys.
Farmington boys.
God, that yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely been multiple guys that I could get hot-headed about.
She can't even talk about Mason. She gets so pissed.
Yeah, all right. So that's good. It's good you got somebody in your corner. You got a lot of people in your corner. I
And
feel
like
you guys all do.
Yeah.
Everyone there does.
And like growing up with Lucy, were there ever times where she was just like overwhelmed about it and she came to you or anything like that?
I mean, not really, because Lucy and I weren't. I mean, when did you like come out to like? You came out to a couple people I know in like middle school, like early middle school.
Like 6th grade.
But her and I weren't. We didn't even come close to like.
She didn't like me.
I hated Lucy when I like I fucking hated.
Hey,
her.
that's how the best friendships form.
My best
This is
friend
like
hated me
you
for a
hate
long time.
Noah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little different. I have reasons for that.
reason.
But like I don't like Lucy and I middle school like we talked a little bit like 8th grade we had like a couple classes together, started talking more than that. 6th, 7th grade we didn't really talk at all, but then we didn't even start getting close. We didn't even start getting close to like end of freshman year, and then end of freshman year and on is kind of when we
That when you guys started becoming.
friendship blossomed and just kept getting closer.
Yeah, I was pretty like solid.
Jealous.
Facts.
Jealousy reigns.
Yeah, but like I know times you've been there for me.
In terms of, well, yeah, times I've been there for you, but in terms of like being comfortable with like your sexuality and stuff, I don't think I was there for like, I don't want to say like your prime, but like when you were like first starting to like come out to people, and like I felt like by the time that I really got to know you, like end of freshman year, everybody knew you were bisexual. Like it wasn't like something that you were trying to hide from people, or you weren't like comfortable in yourself with, and so I didn't really feel like I had to. Like there wasn't anything that I was trying to support you with in that sense. I mean, obviously I supported her.
6th grade, she was like, she comes up, she's like, they don't have like gay day at school, and I'm gonna protest, and I'm gonna gather the friends at the flagpole, and we're gonna have a sit out. And I'm like,
No, it's
what?
because they were they were
She's only like 11.
They were
Had to go meet with the principal. I'm like, we're gonna have a protest today.
You wonder why I didn't like her.
I was a little aggressive in middle school. I'm not.
She's like, I want to see that rainbow flag flying from underneath that flag. I was like, do I have to buy the flag, or what's happening here?
I want to ask, did you like know before?
Yeah, I knew. I mean,
Because I came out to mom first. I came out to mom after the women's march in like 7th grade. And then I remember but you guys knew. Like I didn't come out to you till probably 8th. And I didn't come out to Henry, my brother, till like sophomore year. And I had rainbows everywhere
I think
in my room.
Henry was kind of like, yeah, so what?
Yeah, he literally, I texted him.
Like, I don't care.
He was like, Lucy, like, I know, I support you regardless. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at hiding things.
No, you're not, Lucy. And were there ever times you ever questioned it, or like struggled yourself? Yeah.
No, I like dick.
Okay.
But she's I mean, you can talk about it because, like, people think she's a lesbian a lot.
Okay.
Why do? Because that's a stereotype, or what?
I mean,
Who
I
thi-
think-
why you telling people something that
No,
they,
absolutely not.
why do
No,
people
I
think that?
I think, like, I have a deeper voice. I'm very
Because you have
into,
a
like,
deep voice. That's
very
fucked
into
up.
Sports.
Uh.
Very, like, I will go to school many times. Like, 3 out of 5 times a week, I'm showing up in joggers and a sweatshirt and tennis shoes. Very into sports. So many of my friends are guys. I just get along with guys. I think more than I do girls for the most part, and so they think that, like, oh, she's swinging the other way.
Are they intimidated by that? You think?
I'll let you.
God.
What do you think?
Any of our guy friends, I feel like, obviously it's different with, like, the girlfriends that they have now. Well, some of them, but, like, because I mean, Sierra and I have always been, like, really close, like a tight knit group of guys all throughout high school. And when they would get new girlfriends, they did not like you. Like, they didn't like that she could talk sports with them, and they didn't like that, like, she was as close to them.
Yeah, you intimidated them.
Yeah, I would say you're intimidated.
Just like you do.
Thanks, Luce.
You're both intimidating.
If I ever have a situation, I'm calling Herb. That's all I'm saying.
I
Like, that's
appreciate it,
all
Kevin.
I'm saying.
Right? She'll throw down, man. She'll fuck you up.
For sure.
Although I thought we were gonna go at it at the damn charging station. I'm like,
What time?
you were ready to. You were making fun of these. So we're at the charging station, right? And we're charging up the truck, and it's at a Walmart, and that's where they got the charging stations. And so a couple guys pull up in their truck. They were not tree huggers. They pulled up in their truck, and rusted hole, jacked up truck, and I mean the vibe wasn't. You could just, I don't know, maybe it's me, but they pulled like in 2 charging spots. I mean, they weren't charging, but they were like, fuck you, we're parking here. We don't give a shit. And it was like, all right, whatever. They looked like they were ready to kind of pick a fight or something. And so, I got this electric truck, and so I think I can be stereotyped with it. But then I think people don't know how to react because it's like, well, it's one thing if they see a Tesla or they see, a Prius or something, then you can easily judge somebody by that. But when they see a full-size F-150 electric truck, I think people are confused. It confuses their brain. They look at it and they go, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, are you a hillbilly? Are you and I am. I'm a redneck hillbilly, man. But, and the one guy had to pull his window up. The window was broken. He had to pull it up with his hands. And he's revving the engine the whole time because it looked like he was trying to get a rile maybe out of us because we're sitting in the truck. And she looks over and she's like laughing at him and pointing. And I'm like, okay, let's not pick a fight right now, all right? I don't want to pick a fight. Let's just. And you're like, okay. You're like, okay, I'll be quiet.
Herb,
Yeah, I'm like, please.
if you're ever with me, bro, just wait for me to turn on the camera because we're putting it on World Star for sure.
Yeah. I love it. All right.
All right, back to our previous topic. So, Nolan.
Yeah.
So, you're a funky little guy, right?
Silly little goose.
Silly little goose, some would say, right? You're not the stereotypical, man or whatever. So, like,
God damn!
So, like, what's your experience with all this? I actually haven't heard it much from you. I haven't heard, like, have you ever struggled
Someone
with
says
it?
pretty boy,
Are
they
you
think of you. So, like,
Are you comfortable with yourself? Like,
So, like, the main thing is just I'm, like, severely uncomfortable with sex because I have a lot of trauma from the amputation. Because I had to get a catheter put in when I was 4, and that was, like, that is the worst experience I've ever gone through. Like, physical experience I've ever gone through.
Like a permanent cath or a cath that you had for a long time?
Like, just a temporary one that they
All right.
put in. And, like, that's, like, one of the only things I, like, vividly remember from the surgery.
The pain.
Because, yeah, and just, like, the whole process of, like, I don't know if I was, like, squirming or, like, shouting no or, like, don't. But it just, like, that thing there just sparked, like, a lot of trauma with just my penis in general. And then, like, being, like, uncircumcised, too. Like, sorry if that's TMI, but, like, that...
It's an open discussion here.
Yeah.
We're-
she's got the cheese.
God. Just, like...
Okay.
a combination of things, like having like being born early, like being uncircumcised, having the catheter, just all of these things together, like really just made me uncomfortable, like even looking at it. Like just now, like I've gotten like mediocre at touching it, or like like for maintenance or like cleaning, but like I've never like masturbated before or anything. Like I've been like petrified or like just really scared of just anything related to that. So like looking in a relationship for pleasure has always been difficult, like to justify my own like reason for it. So like I think if I'm going off of just personality, I would be fine dating a man or a woman, because like I view like sexuality as like a spectrum, or like the therapist I went to the other day commented on that. So he like kind of solidified my idea of this, but I really don't like classifying like certain traits and such into gender, like for example like femininity and flamboyantness, or like ruggedness and masculinity. Like I don't like pairing those things. I think it's more of just like as a person you're either more flamboyant or you're more rugged, and because of that, like I know like sexuality and identity are like two really different things, but like in relationships you have to like fully understand both, especially with yourself. So because of like that uncertainty of like physically and like what I actually am sexually attracted to, it's caused like a lot of like hesitation in dating, just because I like was unsure, like going into it unsure in general, and then like recently it's caused a lot of like, it's had side effects. Like I was still going into the relationship, I was unsure, and that really fucked things up. So like going forward, I guess it's just this is something, it's like a personal thing that it sucks that like you guys can't really do much about it. Like it's not like you can obviously like confidence wise or like emotional support for it, but it's really like at this point it's just a physical thing I just need to power through and get over. So, and I don't mean like get over in like it's something that can just be brushed aside or like insignificant, but like slow action and slowly taking steps daily to like get over this, I think will be helpful for it. But yeah.
So he's saying your third leg is your second leg. Am I good?
Yeah, someone said it that wasn't me. Let's go.
Guys,
Lucy wrap that thing around it like a
monsieur. Guys, I do not.
I refuse to comment.
Right on. Oh, it's awesome. I think
He was the only. He
Nolan
was.
and I used to date,
He was.
and that is what all these jokes.
He was the only one here that has seen my cock. He was the only one here that has seen my penis.
The only one that has seen his dick.
all right, he should be honored.
All right. So,
Right?
yeah, for sure. I mean, personally, I don't want to, but like,
It's not your thing.
exactly.
It's all right. It's like you don't want to dress up and get on makeup, but that's all right. But you still hang out. I mean, You're
Exactly.
not judging. You're not homophobic because of it, just because you don't want to get put in,
Although I do have to say, it would be interesting to see that third leg, but like walking on it, I want to see if he could.
It's a
Well.
large joke that Nolan has a gargantuous penis.
It's a pretty small joke in reality.
And when you say large, you mean large.
I will not comment on this with my father and my ex-boyfriend in the room personally.
Right.
This will be a discussion for later tonight in the dorm room.
That'll be a private thing later on with you two. Okay.
All right. Let's expose Lucy a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go!
So, being Lucy's dad and all, right?
Oh,
So how
all
was
right.
it growing up with this character? You know, like, anything that stands out? I mean, apparently she would get in trouble because of it.
Are you kidding? It all stands out.
Did that at me.
All that's like, there.
So, like, how was it? I mean, anything that stands out, or like any?
Well, I think it all stands out because, as I'm sure you all know, Lucy stands out. right? I mean, she's she's a leader. I mean, she is. You're full of confidence, and I think sometimes it can be to others. Sometimes it can be a little intimidating. People get scared, But growing up, I mean, she was always like that. So the best story I can tell you about Lucy that would identify that is one day I came home from work and Lucy was probably 6. And I came home and her mom's in the front yard out there drinking with friends and stuff. And I'm like, hey, does everybody eat dinner and everything yet? And she's like, no, Lucy refuses to eat dinner. I'm like, oh, she does she? Yeah, I'll fix her. I'm like, all right. I come in. I'm like, well, what's your deal? Why don't you want to eat? She like hot dogs and cold broccoli were on the plate, Why don't you eat your stupid hot dog? She's like, I'm not eating. I want fruit snacks. She had remember the fruit snacks that came in little packages? And all the different
like Welch's?
Yeah.
We're talking Welch's?
Mott's.
No, not the good
Mott's?
fruit snacks.
Mott's?
No, not Mott's. No, I'm talking about like the Scooby-Doo ones, the ones that
Like,
were just like little like Play-Doh balls.
Those were really good.
Like
Yeah.
Gushers?
No, not Gushers. Those actually,
like
I think, had some
Gushers
redeeming
were really
value.
good.
These were just garbage. Just
You're like gelatin.
Oh.
yeah, they were good if you're 6, but they were not good if you were an adult that shouldn't have never given them to your kids. So she was just like, I'm not gonna. I want fruit snacks. I'm like, oh, you want fruit snacks? I'm like, I'll teach you a lesson. So I went in there and we had like a whole thing from like a big box of them. There was like 18 packs in there, and they had like 10 in each one. I cut every single package open and I poured them on a plate, and it was like a little mound. 180 of these things. I put them on the plate. I go, here, you want your dinner? Here's your dinner. You eat every single one of them. And I thought, oh, that's right. She'll eat like 10 or 12 and that could be like, okay. So I went outside and I was talking to my wife and I'm like, I took care of it. I fixed it. Don't worry. Father of the year. I fixed it. I'll teach her who's in charge here.
Plate was empty.
About a half hour later, I went back in and that damn plate was empty. She had eaten, and her brother's there, and he's like, she ate every one. She shoveled them in her mouth as fast as she could. She had chipmunks like a squirrel. Her jowls. She ate every single one. I'm like, did you eat every one of these? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, shit. And it was at that moment that I realized that I had zero control over Lucy. Zero control. And I gave up. I gave up parenting at that point. Gave up. I gave up. I was done at 6. I thought, oh, she's way tougher than I am. Shit. And then I think you ate the hot dogs after that. You ate the hot dogs and a couple broccolis. And I thought, oh man. Damn, I effed up bad. I effed up bad. And I don't think you did. No, I think that was even worse that you didn't. I'm like, she's going to be really sick, Lori. You wait and see. And yeah, and you never did, really. You never really did. And so, yeah, that was not a good parenting moment. It backfired real bad. But at least at that point on, I knew who I was dealing with, though. See, I knew who I was dealing with. That's all I needed to know. And so
Lucy's always been a character is what I'm hearing.
oh yeah, yeah, she's the tiger in the tank. Yeah, she's. Yep.
That's good to know.
All right, should we spin again and pick another subject?
who's
Let's do
spinning?
one.
No,
Should we do
Lucy,
one
up.
more? Let's do one more. Where are we at with like time and stuff? Oh my God, it's Taylor.
We already kind of talked about disease.
All right, we
talk
got.
about it again.
Let's do one more subject here. What is it? I can't see it. No, don't do it again. You can't do the same.
Yeah, no, do something.
You can't do the same thing. What?
Okay.
Well, let's show the audience at least. You turn it around.
Here it goes. Dun, 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 dun. Steve wants to talk about sex.
Oh, you can go each one then. Self-awareness.
Self-awareness? Wow.
Oh, man. All right.
You're still asking questions?
Am I still asking questions?
I like it.
Ooh.
Let's roll.
Or Kim, if you're asking the questions, you pick the topic.
Yeah, you want to talk about what do you want to talk about?
Oh.
Personalize it.
You want to talk about love?
Okay. What?
Or yeah, just
Oh.
You want to pick one off the board?
Let's see.
You can pick one off the board if you want to pick one off the board. Here. We'll go
Ooh.
like
or the
Okay.
big board, yeah.
You want to talk about love, God, God.
All I'm saying.
Not God, just love. You want to talk about love?
Do that one.
No, yeah, do that one. Yeah.
I support it.
All right.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
All right, we loving?
We'll do love. So, Lucy and Nolan, obviously. Young love.
Here we go.
I mean, both of you have like completely different backstories. Like, Lucy's more on an emotional level, Nolan's more on a physical level.
We can tell by who has their head buried.
As
in
in,
their arms
like,
who fucked up.
I'm saying, Lucy, your past experiences, like,
Oh, yeah.
emotionally horrendous for him, physically horrendous.
I've been heartbroken a few times.
And like, you know, they say opposites attract. But like, Nolan's as quiet as can be, doesn't communicate. I'm quoting Nolan, natural manipulator.
Direct quote.
Direct quote from Nolan.
I am a natural manipulator. Direct quote.
Direct quote from
He's a
Nolan.
natural manipulator.
Yeah, that Nolan said that, so like.
Said that to us.
He could
So that's
not,
kinda
Take back what I
he
said.
could not manipulate someone, especially me, even if he tried.
Can't unspill the milk.
Well, wait. I mean,
Easily
are you serious
manipulated.
about that? Like, you feel like that?
No, I don't.
You don't. All right.
I
thought maybe you
don't
did.
even
I was
remember
like,
why
damn,
he
you think
said it that
because
way.
I don't see that at all.
Yeah, I don't remember the context. I just remember the quote.
No, it's because he always makes his jokes, like, we, like, make fun of him, obviously.
You guys are tearing him up.
And he always goes, he says the same phrase every time. I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
And so at one point, like, I was telling him, like, something he did wrong. Or I was telling him how I felt. But it was kind of in, like, a joking way, like, whatever. Like, we were all here. And he just goes, I'm gonna cry. And I go, so you know that's manipulation, right? You know you're trying to manipulate me with your emotions and make me feel bad for you, right? And then he went, I guess I'm just a natural manipulator.
Got it. All right. Now I got the context. All right. All right.
But he's not, for the record.
Cap.
He did put you on demon time, though.
Yeah, you got this demon time real.
Real bad, dude. For before and after, it's crazy. Well, no, you were kind of on goblin
Double
mode, and then you were on
time.
demon time.
So seriously, when two worlds collide, like Lucy, you were drooling over this man. Like when I met you, you used me to get to him. Like that's fucked up. But like we're chill now. But like, you know, like why didn't it work out? Like,
I want to hear both sides. I want to hear both
Hey,
sides.
like-
of this.
obviously, past experience have to go into it.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Mr. Lice, like,
Why didn't we work out?
yeah. Let's and like, what do you think of love? First, give us your definition of love and like what you think of it.
Not fun. That's not a fun question.
So give us your definition of love and then apply it into this situation.
He'll need some time to think.
He's not the thinker, bro. Also, no one thinks he's a thinker. He like does.
He just
He does the whole Aristotle. The thinker.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about?
Do you need me to answer first?
You want her to go first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not surprised. So yeah, backstory. I liked Nolan for about 4 months.
Prior
And
to.
When
Prior
I'm
to.
drooling over someone, as Kevin says, I am not subtle at all. Like I'm gonna guess you were well aware of my feelings for you.
You would be surprised.
He was only aware
Because of
Yeah, Kevin was the full wingman for me. And so, you know.
Because you were
like-
gone.
Yeah, for real. And so we'd like hang out at night, and we'd all be sitting by the piano, and then Kevin would be like, I gotta go, guys. And he'd leave us alone, and I'd be like. But anyways, over winter break, we said we were gonna try some things. Didn't really work out. All good. We came back, said we'd be friends. Oh, what?
Lucy, tell the whole story over winter break. You would like text me like, can you text Nolan please, and just tell him to text me back.
Did they
Lucy,
know Claire?
No, wait. Okay, so before we left for winter break, Nolan, I told him, I was like, I gotta tell you something. Because I was like, you know what? I just gotta tell him my feelings. He can decide. Like, I know he likes to think about things. He can have all the winter break. Like,
Bro,
what?
I hit her with the, do you think I should date you?
Yeah.
I
He
was
hit me
like-
with the. He looks at me. He goes, "Do you think I should date you?" I was there
Oh.
I was like, well, I mean, like, if you want. And then my ride was here.
Yeah.
So he gives me his number because I asked for his number. And I'm like, oh, we can text or we're in a break. He gives me the wrong number.
No,
Wait,
not
a purpose?
Yes, you did.
not intentionally.
No,
Guys,
he
guys, guys.
I looked back at the photo. I was psyched. He put one digit off. I do not think that was on purpose.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
That's a classic tactic. That's right.
Guys.
Wait, was it the
Guys.
last digit?
Yo, was it the last?
Yeah, it was the last.
Oh,
digit.
that's a tactic, dude.
So all you had to do was go through 9 numbers.
Okay, but I didn't know. So like I.
But how do you not
started-
know there's not enough digits? There's only
No,
6.
there was. It was a wrong one. It was the
Oh,
wrong digit. He gave
oh.
me like 6 when it was supposed to be 7 or something. And so I'm texting him over winter break. I'm like, okay, I got this, guys. Like, I know how to flirt. And so I'm like sending him April. Because I'm like, that's how I'm going to get in. And he never responds. And I'm like, yeah, it's like kind of weird. I'm like, you know, like, he's like snapping me back. Like, I'm sending him fit pics and like shit like that.
This is the wrong person.
Fuck with the fucking fit pic. Like, I send like a little video of my outfit, and I'd be like, this is what I'm wearing.
Right? I know what a fit pic is.
And
don't
he
know what
still
outfit she
wasn't
was wearing.
responding on text, so I text him again because you know I'm down bad. I'm atrocious. I have no shame ever. I will triple, quadruple text anyone.
Down astronomical, bro. Out of this world.
So I like text him again. You know I'm still at home, and then I go and visit my very best friend in in Eau Claire. And we're there, and I'm telling her, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, I just don't get why. He said he wanted to try this, and then he just, like, ghosted me. And
Which became a trend.
yeah. And then she's like trying to get me drunk and stuff, and I'm gonna use that as an excuse. So I text him. I'm like this, or I think I'm texting him. This like, fuck you. Like if you were a real fucking man, you would have told me you didn't feel the same way, and like all you do is play with people's emotions. Like I was going on.
Little did you know the foreshadowing that was.
I know.
So, not aggressive at all.
So then I finally snap him the next morning. And I'm like, I'm so sorry for what I sent last night. Like, I was drunk. I'm lying. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't text me? I'm like, yeah, I did. He's like, no, you haven't. Like, you haven't texted me all break. And I'm like, fucking excuse me? So I'm like, send me your number right now. And I'm like, so you sent me the wrong number. So anyway, winter break was kind of a mess.
God, I wish I knew you people back then. That would have been so much
You and
I barely knew you.
You missed a lot of fun.
Because Kevin's my only, because the three of us were in a little group chat together. And, you know, we're talking about how, like, we're going to FaceTime and all these things. And I'm like, Kev, please get him to FaceTime. Like, I'm begging Kev to, like, beg him so that I don't seem desperate, even though.
17 texts later.
It's a little obvious. So we get, finally, he's like not texting me back as much, whatever. And I finally like fed up with it because I'm like, I got my standards. Like, I already went through heartbreak with Sam. Like, I'm not doing this shit again for a mediocre man.
That's your daughter.
And I text him and I'm like, like I explained to him, I'm like, this is like how this makes me feel, and like you not doing this, and blah 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 blah. And he's like, no, like that's so valid. Like we have a really great conversation, and I'm like, I just think we should like be friends because like you're clearly like not like into this or like whatever. And he was like, yeah, sure. I just like didn't know how to tell you, and like blah blah. He's like, I thought you would have just gotten the hint when I stopped responding.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that. You did?
Oh, he said that multiple times to me. So I'm like, whatever.
That's
I'm
hard to
like,
be your friend sometimes.
I know.
Oh, shit.
I'm having my tearful nights, like, at
Damn.
home, whatever. But I'm like, okay, we're going to come back winter break. It's going to be fine. Like, we're going to be friends. Like, I know how to fake it. I've been heartbroken by friends before. Like, I'm quite good at this. And so we get back, and everyone is cracking fucking jokes. Kev will not let it go. He's like, hey, Lucy, remember how Nolan rejected you and how you pined over him for 4 months.
I met you and I was shitting on you instantly, bro.
Yeah, literally.
I
the
knew you for
first
5
night I met
hours.
you.
I knew you for 5 hours.
And
It was over.
he's like, this guy? And I'm like, yeah.
No, I remember you told me, and I was like, really? Like, no offense. Like,
And
really?
so,
No offense.
so then time goes by, and this man is still like flirting with me in like our group settings, and he's still like doing all these cute little things, and I'm like catching glances and shit. So I'm like, fuck. And you know, I live in delusion. I live in pure and utter delusion.
As you should, girl.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, and finally, now this was like, what, start of winter quarter?
It's like early January. Yeah.
And I decide, I'm like, you know what, I can't do this. Like, I need a break from like the guys. Like, I need a break from everything because I cannot get over him while I'm still around him. Like, that's always been my thing when like I break up with someone. Like, it's like no contact, nothing. Like, I think that's the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I call him up because I'm like, I don't want him to think I'm like gonna abandon him because like he has abandonment issues.
You call him up.
No, I called Kevin up first because
That's
I was
right.
like, Kev, I gotta let you know. And he was like, okay, like I get it. Like Kev's been there for me since day one with this shit. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell Nolan though. Like I'm gonna just like explain it to him because like I don't want him to think I'm just like ghosting him or like leaving him high and dry and things like that. Because that would make me personally sad. So I call him up to my room and I tell him all this stuff and I'm like, yeah, like I just need a break. Like it's totally fine that you don't feel the same way, but like I can't be around you, things like that. And then he decides, he's like, no, I want to try this. And he's like, I want to date you and blah 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 blah. And now I'm giddy as hell. I'm sitting in that bed like,
Yeah, boy.
really?
You gotta say how he asked you.
No, so we go on a date. He takes me on a very nice first
I
date.
just want to, real quick, I just want to mention, when you two were up there, Kevin did not tell me where either of you had gone, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
cool,
was a
they both,
mystery to everyone else.
they both killed themselves. That's so cool. Nolan looked me in the eyes with his water bottle, said, I'm gonna go fill this up real quick. Was gone for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we were
And
up
Kevin
there.
wouldn't tell me shit. I was
And
like,
literally,
Kevin, you know what
the only reason they knew is
Oh,
because
boy.
Emily, my roommate, came back in and saw Nolan and I sitting on my bed, like, talking, and she went, ooh.
Uh-oh.
And then she came back down and she was like, Kevin and them, that's how they found out.
I almost smacked you across the face, Kevin. I was so mad at you.
So, whatever, he takes me on a date, he decides that, and then, like, the next day, and, you know, I'm cracking jokes, it's just who I am. And I was very much so, like,
Scott.
yeah, that's Scotty. Oh, shit. Go get him.
Scott! Come here real quick.
How you doing? You want to say hi? Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, introduce yourself. Who are you, man?
Hello. Check 1, 2, 3. I am Scott Trundle. I'm a freshman here at University of Denver. This is the greatest person in the world, Kevin.
Facts.
And
Could
your
be
name is?
Dr. Kevin. He's
Dr. Kevin.
Yeah, that's the doc right here, man.
All right, bye, Scott.
Right
Thanks,
on.
Scott.
He's gone.
And just like that, I think I fell in love in real time.
Yeah, I can see a little giggle in your eye there.
We were talking about him last night, and I was like,
See-
look at the picture. And nobody had one, so that was...
Now you got a big visual, don't you?
He plays
then-
basketball too.
Uh-oh.
That's your man.
Go get
He's
him.
a whore.
I should.
I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Scott,
yeah,
you're
I'll
not a
do
whore if you watch this.
I'll go over there later.
I don't have a snap. I have his Insta.
That works.
Oh my god. Okay.
Love you, Scott.
Back to my horrendous love life. And the best part about our entire relationship, I think, is how he asked me to be his girlfriend. He looks at me while we're laying in my bed. He goes, "Do you want?" Or no, he said, "Do you want me to be your boyfriend?"
Yeah, that was probably the worst way to ask. I'm honest.
Because I told him, because I was like, us going on a date doesn't mean we're girlfriend and boyfriend. Like, you have to ask me to be your girlfriend. Like, that's a whole thing. Like, obviously, I wasn't seeing anyone else. But, like, I still, like, you know, wanted the...
But like standard protocol, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I wanted the nice, oh, will you be my girlfriend and things like that. No. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm not answering that. I was like, you can ask me a different way. So whatever. We date for a month or so. And then we had some miscommunications. And then I got ghosted for a little bit.
Oh.
Hey Lucy,
What?
can I have your comment on the head pat?
One time, I was fuming down here. I was like angry at something.
It's because we looked at you.
We looked at you.
Yeah,
and
they like did this stupid joke, and I was like fuming because I thought they were talking
It was a good
about
bit.
me.
It was a good bit.
And Nolan comes over and goes and pats my head. Yes. Yeah.
Guys, this is crazy.
Now I.
How would I like? How? There is no defense.
Literally, like, wow, like I really did this.
I just want to say, from day one, I called that they were not going to make it. Like I
That
knew
is literally a lie, Hugh. Hugh, you thought we were
I
going
was
to
your
make it
biggest
like
fan.
3.
I was your yeah yeah. We never. So Kevin,
what
we
bet
weren't-
did you
we weren't
have?
gonna tell them that, Kevin. We weren't gonna.
So Luce. So this is the thing. I know Nolan.
we gambled
I
on
thought
like
I did.
6 months.
So
We didn't gamble
this is the
on
thing.
it.
So we were trying to help Nolan make it last long. Like we were helping you. Like we're Nolan, take her this, do this, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But Hugh was like, one day we were walking,
It was
and
when we were walking home from Guitar Center.
facts. And he's just like, I give him until like junior year.
And I was like, that's my like.
That's a long time.
I know. I was like, damn.
I was like, that's my long-term estimate. you know?
Yeah. How long did you give us, Kev?
A little longer
Yeah,
actually.
no, he gave you because I gave you till like beginning of junior year, and he gave
Damn,
you.
that seems like a long
Well,
time
because
to
the
me.
thing is,
thought they were gonna say
I
May.
think it's
I was
important to
My
know
whole-
why we broke up.
Yeah, I thought you were.
My
like
whole thing,
May
thing was like,
3rd.
I'm so
No.
good at being a wingman, I'm gonna keep this thing going. Like, me and
Hugh
Kev's
was
house-
hating on us since
I
the
was-
day we got together.
Valentine's Day.
I did not sleep. I hated, bro. Like it was like,
Yeah,
So
Good
eventually,
friends,
but I did
Yeah.
it out of love, you know.
Especially Valentine's Day.
Dude, on Valentine's Day,
Oh my god. Hugh literally, he never went to sleep the 13th.
No.
He went into the 14th and he was like, I hate this day. I hate everyone in love. I hate everything. All of you suck. The whole day. Whole damn day.
tough for people that aren't in a relationship.
I dressed up real pretty that day too. I was looking good.
Well,
You did.
depends on the person, really. Like it really depends on the person.
I love Valentine's Day. Even when I was single, oh my gosh, Valentine's Day is my favorite day. I love a day full of love.
That was like the day after.
Whatever.
I went too, so that was wild.
Not Valentine's Day. Greg Levant's birthday.
We don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's my
That's true.
birthday.
That is
That's way better, honestly.
It's my birthday. I've never celebrated I've never given a woman
That's
chocolate,
crazy. So you're
flowers,
both- you're
nothing
both
my entire
holidays.
life.
You're both holidays. That's
Yeah.
Well, all of us are.
My and
mom
her
was
brother
born on-
is Labor
Henry's
Day.
Labor Day, and my mom's on Easter. Like
That's
the year she was born was on Easter. I know,
It's
isn't that
kinda
cool?
bizarre. Isn't that weird?
And I'm Independence Day, so.
Yeah.
I can't believe it took
Yeah.
me so long to realize that. Because my brother's birthday is July 3rd, and the reason I remembered Lucy's birthday is because, just a day after my brother's. And then a few days ago in Build-A-Bear, she's like, yeah, it's Independence Day. And I was like, what?
Right.
Okay, but seriously though.
Okay.
All right, Nolan, you ready?
So then Nolan decided that he did not want to be with me anymore.
Did he decide that?
Yeah, he told me that he did not have feelings for me anymore like that, and so, because I just think it's important to realize that we did not break up because of like any mistakes or like things like that. Like, I'm a very forgiving.
An overly forgiving.
I'm an overly
Yeah, there you go.
forgiving person. And I think things take work, and I think things take time. So like I would have put in the work and the effort for as long as it took, but he didn't feel the same way, and that is okay.
And to this side of the couch. Now I see why we were sitting this way.
We
Here
are
we go.
All right, here we go. Bud.
acquaintances.
Where do you want to start? I'll add them for you as you go.
Stop. Well, like, what do you mean? Lucy went over it pretty well.
No, I want to hear your point of view.
What?
Feel in reality like regret.
Yeah, are there any regrets?
Like, we need that kind of juicy stuff.
I mean, God. I was like talking with Sushi about this yesterday,
Yeah.
and like one of the things we brought up was like, I think I went into it like not just on like personal maybe interest, but it was also like group interest. Like I thought like I needed to in order to like keep everyone together. And then that would be like one of the only, I guess, supporting evidence for my side. But the other thing is like, I don't know, just distrust in myself causes distrust in others, and then you like distance yourself from people, especially ones you're close to. Like I did the same thing with my family. Like because they're family, you can't just like cut everything off with them, but I did go through this same process, and then I repeated it, and then like I went into it like expecting myself just to like change instantly by having someone to like be required to put effort into, like I thought it would. Like it would give me like a task, like it would give me something to do and something to work on, but it just like that task, because I viewed it as a task, also like created like resentment for it. And because like ultimately I don't think you should, like now reflecting on it, like you shouldn't go into a relationship if you think it's for a task or for your own like development. Like I didn't I like Lucy, I knew you liked me, so like I could go into the relationship having that security of knowing someone liked you, but I also like the goal of the relationship, that when I went into it was not like, the goal I had was to make myself change, not make it work. So that's what caused all of this. And then like, and it's other thing too is like I like genuinely cannot explain why sometimes, because like it would happen with like you guys too. Like I would just like not talk to you for a day and not say shit about why I wanted to not talk to you for a day. Because like, like it's just these things. Like there's just times where I get like by myself and just truly enjoy just like talking with myself. Like it's just,
I get that.
it's like narcissism, but I don't know. It's like, that's why I worry about it. Like that's why I hate being introverted. Like I hate tendencies of being introverted. And I know like you're not just one or the other. Like you're not just introverted, extroverted, but it's so difficult to like accept part of yourself that doesn't want to be around people. Cause like humanity like is such a communal thing. So like the fact that you don't want that in some instances, like I've never been able to, when in an extroverted state of mind, I've never been able to justify my introverted state of mind. But when in an introverted state of mind, I like doubt everything my extroverted self feels. Like I doubt like whether I should be friends with you guys, or whether I should talk to just anyone, or like whether I'm like wasting time or like not trying. But like when I'm extroverted, I like ignore like personal goals. Like I focus too much on like what all of you think and what all of people think. Like I try to be too much of like a people pleaser, I guess, in extroverted. So I like ignore like personal interests in music, or personal interests in like technology or research, or even just like basic like jobs or diet or exercise and stuff like that. Like these basic amenities that I need to cover like are often ignored and outweighed when viewed extrovertedly, because I prioritize how you feel and how like I will always, like with you guys, like getting insulted, for example, on the daily, like I will like I was thinking about this in the elevator, but I was like I don't know why like this thought came up, but it was like, oh, if you guys insult me, like I can allow you to let off steam, and like I don't have to try as hard to be your friend. Like that thought came to mind, and it's like these like really harsh and like obviously wrong things like just happen, and I don't necessarily know the source of them. I'm sure if I thought about it long enough, I could maybe figure it out, but it's just a lot of the times it's just spark of the moment, like things that just, it's a really harsh like negativity and just emotion that occurs, and it's really, really damaging to people. So that was the main reason I called it off, I think.
So was this the first time that you've kind of heard that?
No. She's heard that before.
We've had like
All right,
lot of talks
so
about
you've had
it.
conversations about it. So you've expressed.
Yeah.
All right.
No, like, yeah. I have a question for all three of y'all. I have four, I guess. Because Sierra and I were talking, four as in the men. Because Sierra and I were talking about this a little bit. And I swear to God, I'm not trying to target you. Yeah. I'm not trying to target you.
Targeted, bud.
Yahoo!
I want to know too. Because it's just like, this has happened, not like obviously this exact situation, but the situation where it's like, you can be, or like I've been like so intimate with someone and I have shared such things with them and I have laid with them for hours and talked to them for hours and it feels like you're just like so close and then they just...
To keep this in mind, just so I can make sure, it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
It's not just like a one person, like, oh, I'm spilling my guts to this person, they're listening. Like, it's a two-way, like, super intimate, like, moment.
Like it's
And then the
like
next
more
day
intimate.
they change.
Well,
Or
not
it's
even
different.
Just the next day, but it's like you guys just like flip a switch, and it's like you
Yeah.
just never cared at all. And I don't get how you do that. I don't get how. Like, do you
is there a
genuinely,
reason, or is there, like-
can y'all just fake it that well? Like genuinely, like.
I don't think that's faking. I don't think there's faking going
How do you
on.
just,
How does it just,
how do you
like,
just
it's,
turn
like,
it
not
off?
there anymore?
How do you just stop one day?
So I've never, I've been in 3 relationships in my life, and I got dumped every single time. And I talked with all of them after, and that's what that like what you're describing is what I felt.
Yeah.
Like, because when I love someone, when I'm like dating someone, and I think I'm in love with them and all that shit, I give it like everything I fucking got.
Yeah.
Like, I love unconditionally, and it was worse. It was absolutely the worst with like my last girlfriend, who like I was with for over a year. Like, I loved her to death and shit, and then we were literally doing great. I saw her one day, and then 2 days later, I had like gone out of town, and she just FaceTimed me and said, "Hey, I just can't do it anymore. I don't feel the same way about you anymore. I want to break it off." And then we did, and I never really got like an explanation as to why that happened. Like with the first two, it was like we weren't really meant to be in relationships. Like the first two, it just kind of like I liked them way more than they liked me, and that just like that's just how it was. That's just how it was. It wasn't meant to be. But like with her, it was like we both like really like we had been through a lot of shit together. Like we both had been like on the verge of like doing some really terrible shit, and we had like helped each other through that. And it had been like really bad, and we had both helped each other like get better. And then one day, it just like felt it literally just felt like she changed up on me. She ghosted me for 2 days, and then she was like, "Hey, I don't want to ghost you on this. I have to tell you, I don't feel the same way about you anymore." And we like stayed friends for a little bit after that, and like it was so weird because like our interactions didn't change. Mm-hmm. Like we still like acted the same way towards each other after the breakup, but we like there was like that very clear disconnect that we weren't what we were before, and like we obviously like we couldn't hang out alone anymore because then that would be weird. And then like she took a gap semester for the first semester, and I didn't talk to her much after I left because I was like, I think the best thing for me is I should just stop talking to her to try and get over it. And then I got into a relationship. I got into like a little thing with someone here, and I hurt her because I was hurt, and I still feel terrible about that. And that was brutal. No one met her. That wasn't fun. And then one day out of the blue, in like I want to say like late October, she just texted me, and like then we started talking again, and then like we were like friendly again. And then when I went home, I made the great mistake of hooking up with her again, and then I got emotionally attached to her again, and she clearly did not feel the same way about me, but I still had not gotten over her yet. And then I got my tattoo with her, and shit, and like that like really messed with my head for like the first month of coming back. And then like I got mono when I went there, and then like she still wanted to hook up with me. It was wild. And then like it was wild shit.
She wanted the goods.
It was a lot. Somehow she didn't get mono, so I guess she had already had it. And then she went off to school, and like we texted for like the first 2 weeks or so, first 3 weeks, and then I was like, this is not good. This is like really toxic. And so like we slowly like I didn't like cut it off, but like I slowly stopped responding to her more and more and shit. And it just like I never got like an explanation or a reason, and that's what like me going back to her was, I think, was me like searching for something that I just never was gonna get. And
Did you feel comfortable asking her directly?
I have, and she just like has been like, I don't really know what to tell you. It just like she literally was like, I just like over like the period of a week, my feelings just completely changed, and I was like, so it was wild.
Do you feel like you gave it the best you could? Do you feel like
I feel like I did everything?
Do you feel like you did everything? Like you feel like
I would
trusted your heart and
I had complete trust in her. I loved her a lot. I would skip practices when she was having like a terrible day. I brought her coffee in the morning all the time. Like I knew like every little idiosyncrasy about her. And her, like, I had a great relationship with her and her parents, and damn it, I loved her dog so much. That's the thing that pisses me off still. I fucking love that dog, dude. I miss Hazel every day. Way more than her, frankly. Like, oh my god. I'm completely over her. I'll never get over Hazel. It's horrible. But then, like, my brain was completely clouded with that for the longest time. And then one day, I just woke up in the middle of February, and I went, shit, I don't care anymore. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, so, I mean, you feel like you said, I did the best I could.
Yeah.
I was the best person I could be within my capacity, and there's nothing else. I mean, sometimes people, that's just the way they are.
Can't fight how it goes.
It's not, the universe, it just wasn't right. It wasn't meant to be.
It is what it is, you know?
Yeah. And
I gave it my all.
Yeah, as long as you could say that you did things the best way you could do them, and you expressed yourself, and you were true to yourself. You were honest with yourself.
Because there's I went over in like the month after when all my friends were gone and I was still home. I went over like every little moment of the relationship, and I was like, where did I fuck up? Where did I fuck up? And I couldn't find anything, and that caused me distress at the time. But then now looking back on it, that's the best way it could be. You know, like that's I have no regrets over I have like little regrets. But like nothing like major ever happened that I think, I like wronged her so bad there. Like I feel like I was the best man I could be, you know.
You feel like you did the best you could. Do you feel like you were?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure when something doesn't happen the way you want it to, people feel rejected. You feel not good about yourself, but in retrospect, do you feel like, hey, I gave it the best I could do. I did the best I could do.
It's like in like the most like it's like in like the nicest way. Like I know like our breakup like wasn't me. Like I know it wasn't.
I know, but I'm saying, do you feel like you?
I think I gave it my.
You did the best you could in the circumstances you had.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I would have thought.
Well, that's in the future circumstances, but with what you had up until that point, you gave it the best you could.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like? I did the best. Oh, you don't?
No.
Ah, shit. That stinks. Yeah, that sucks. Because then you got to like work through that in your head, then, right?
Because like I fully understand. Like, I will always blame myself for it. Like, just because I truly feel like it originated from me. But like the worst part is just not knowing why it happened, because this has happened twice, like with
All right.
family and now, and like just not knowing the answer to like why I just switch up, or like why I can't, because like it's almost like,
Good Will Hunting type beat.
yeah, it's almost like there's just scenarios where like a thought will come up, and in theory you should be able to justify it as like unjust and just be able to push it away, like, because you push away good thoughts all the time using logic to justify with like it's like unjustified logic,
Right.
but you do this in reverse, or so it's just, I guess it's weird how in some cases you'll allow certain thoughts to go through and in other cases you won't. And I don't think anyone, or at least right now, I don't like, that's why I have a lot of distrust in like my own feeling for it, and why I genuinely just don't like feeling, is because of just, it's easier to suppress and act robotic and have a guaranteed response from it than it is
Sure.
to like risk it, because I can like improv or take risks in every other scenario than personal relationships with people, because like the damage you can cause to someone, like that is like worse than losing a foot.
It sounds like
But-
music. It sounds like you doing a piece and saying, well, it's got to be perfect before I can,
Yeah.
release it or put it out there.
But
in
like
the
even
meantime,
in
you're not,
even
are
in
you-
music,
are you,
yeah.
are you? You're not. Are you? I don't know. I don't know if you are or you aren't. I mean, are you enjoying the music? Are you enjoying it, or are you enjoying the pursuit of perfecting it before you can do it or share it? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, like my favorite part about music is the performance, because like I can make a mistake while performing and continue on. Like I took private lessons for like 7 years, and that was like one of the things my teacher said I was the best at, was like I will slip up but continue and not hesitate. Like I won't hesitate after a mistake.
Right?
But
Can you do that in other areas of your life? Do you feel like
that's
you
why
can?
I feel
No.
like I I be able to, but I
Right.
just, it's different for some reason. Maybe because it's like like music is a technical thing, like it's just a physical movement of
Well,
such, and
Plus, you've probably been doing it for a long, long time.
yeah, like
Where it's
Lucy was the
not-
first person I dated, so.
Right, I was going to
that's-
say, it's
yeah.
you probably have to have 55 relationships to say, yeah, I'm getting better at it now,
Mhm.
and knowing myself.
hmm I mean, it's still like, yeah, so.
Yeah, it's got to be hard.
It's wild. 'cause
It also-
the morning that you broke up with her was the morning I got over my ex-girlfriend, and I was so like bubbly that day. I took him like we went to breakfast
Yeah, you were.
together and
Oh,
shit.
I hated the fact that I had to
I
tell
was-
you like,
I was
Hugh,
so
I
happy.
think I'm gonna break up
I
with
was
Lucy
so
today.
I was so bright and cheery, and then we walk out of the dining hall, and he goes,
I was like,
So-
like shake.
"Here's the thing,
Oh.
I don't want to dampen your day, but I think I gotta break up with Lucy." And I was like, "Oh."
Mm.
You're like, oh, I had July of junior year.
I woke up at like
I'm
I
going to
woke
lose
up
the
at, like,
bet.
I woke up at like 7 that morning. I fucking like did yoga and shit. I was feeling so good. I showed him like my favorite music that I'd like ever heard and shit. And then he just bang. Funny as hell though. Like in retrospect, that's hilarious.
All right, Doc. What else you got, man? We're going to...
Start wrapping it up.
Yeah, I think we should. I think it's...
All right. So, well, I don't know what happened while I was gone, but I'm sure it was great.
Have you ever
It
been
was-
in love?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Were you good at it?
He's like, anyway.
Yeah, were you good at it?
Oh, I was amazing. Like,
Look, yeah, let's go, man.
I was so good at it. Of course, I had my slip-ups here and there, but like,
Hey, happens.
I ended up moving in with her December of senior year. I actually stopped living with my parents.
Right on.
Harsh, lived paycheck to paycheck, but that's
Right.
life, right? Now I
Right.
got a story to tell.
Right.
For me, it kind of was like the flip the switch kind of thing, where I think it just happens with like you grow as a person, and one day you're just like, it's just not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Um,
And everybody, I think, grows at different times. I think every human being grows at different points, and they say,
I just don't think I can do that.
well, some people grow faster, but I don't think, back to your comment though, like, how do you, like, fake it? I don't think any of it's faking. I don't think any of it is. I think it's all real, and then I think sometimes it gets pushed down. And it's like, okay, I feel like this might be the end result, so I'm just going to push it down now and suppress it because it's going to be there one day, or I'm scared or afraid or what have you. But that doesn't mean it wasn't real or that it wasn't.
I think that's the worst thing you can do as a person.
I
think that's the most cowardly bullshit you can do as a person is to push down your feelings.
I think there's more cowardly things. I got dumped over FaceTime.
Well,
Nah. Well,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. It's
It might
I don't know
be.
if it's cowardly because it's like you don't know if like I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that.
Should be pretty-
I push down my fucking feelings, so
I know
like
you do.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, like that's shitty, whatever. But I think like in terms of like relationships, and I guess like even in some circumstances, like even if you're not dating, but you have that close connection with a person, and you have like intimate moments and whatever, like emotional attachment to them, and like all of a sudden it's just like gone, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Like what?
so why can't you continue to have those things without having the dating and having everything
You can.
else? But
But they stop.
Yes. And it's just like,
But maybe there's so much pressure to say, okay, we're dating now and we have to do these certain things. We have to abide by these guidelines that the other person has established.
then why?
And they don't want to do those things, but maybe they still enjoy those other.
Then I think I was gonna say maybe this is where the cowardliness comes in.
Well, that's
If you're
hard.
not-
Maybe it's
if
not-
You don't have like if you're not willing to express that, and be like, you know what, I'm not. I love what we have right now, but I'm not ready for a relationship yet. Maybe someday, eventually in the future. Then so be it. Like there's nothing you can
Or,
do
like,
about that. But if
you
it's
don't
all of a
like
sudden,
But, like, man up and
yeah, or
say
if it's
it.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden just like, all right, well, I'm too scared to admit how I feel, so I'm just gonna drop it. Like that's.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hear what you're saying about that. Yeah, that is pretty tough.
And I know I am like a very like emotionally based person, so like obviously that has like bias towards it of like I think like the most powerful thing in the world is love and like love for like anyone, and I think that fuels everything, and that fuels everything that I do is the love I have for people. So I guess it's just like because like we were talking about this yesterday of like, oh, is there a timeline on love? And I was like, no. Like I think every person that I've ever loved, I'm gonna love them for the rest of my life, regardless of what they've done to me. And
Right.
it's just I just can never I'm never gonna turn that off.
Right, yeah. I
And I
mean,
just don't get how some people can.
I don't know if they do. They just maybe not express it in the way that you do, or
Express it at all.
express it at all. Correct. I think because everybody is different.
Yeah.
And I think, and generally, stereotypically saying, I think sometimes males, in society, we don't even address males' mental health. So,
I got yelled at for crying as a kid. Yeah.
yeah, right? I mean, we don't even address, I wouldn't say we don't address it all, but like we struggle to address it. So, how can you expect anything else different from the males? If they,
I don't think that can be an excuse though.
I don't think it's an excuse. It's an explanation. Yes, for an explanation. Why certain things
Yeah, I
are.
guess you're
You
right.
can't just say, well, okay, well that's stupid. So just change then. I don't think that's fair to be able to say that. I don't.
I do think that it's,
But communicating,
I think
though-
it's up to society to also change, but I think it's also up to men to
Well,
because who built that system? Who
Well, hold on. We're not going to go down that road now.
But just like who's like putting all that pressure inside you guys to be like this? Like who's set up all these
10,000 years of
stereotypes?
evolution.
Exactly.
What the?
Who's always been in the power of it?
So we'll just change it all right now, the second?
I would love to if I
Well,
could.
I think that you guys are the ones that have the power to do that.
Hey, bro, I'm already doing as much as I can, bro. Like, I can't do more, bro. Like, what the fuck you want me to
The
do?
doctor's doing the best he
God.
can.
Women can be as supportive as they want to be like, you know what, like I'm here for your feelings and you can come up to me and stuff. But
Doesn't matter.
that's
if
not
you
gonna
don't tell
matter
her.
if like that, and then on top of that, like if you're not gonna like women can do as much as they want, but until it's accepted in turn like with like male to male, like it's not gonna nothing's gonna change.
Maybe not.
Letting each other cry. And y'all do a great job. Like, I'm not saying, like,
Yeah.
you four specific.
No,
Yeah.
Lucy loves singling me out. The other day she said y'all and like
She'd point
looks
right
at
at
me.
you.
No, yeah, straight up.
Right.
And I was like, Lucy, what
I
the
know.
fuck, bro? I'm not even like that. You're like, I'm so sorry, Kevin. Like, no, you pointed right at me, bro.
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Oh, smash your plate and say sorry, bro. Like, come on. Let's be honest. Like,
Kev loves to bring up old shit and take things so personally.
Kev forgives, but he does not forget.
Literally.
exactly. That's why I'm gonna train crows,
See, I'm
do my
fully-
dirty work.
Dude, send the crows in,
Exactly.
right? Send in the crows.
Just all, in the end, it's all about growing together, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hell
having all these chats, you know,
Right?
we get to know more about each other. We get to know like how we're feeling. Like, no, we finally got something out of you. I'm proud of you. You were finally able to talk to us, bro, and I'm really happy for you. I mean, I hope that we can take this experience, grow as a group, and like grow, you know, as friends.
We are all in
Man,
this
you
together.
didn't even
We're all in this
I mean,
together.
we really are, right? All of us are.
Exactly.
You know, and isn't relationships more important than a romantic one? I think it is. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty harsh on that. I mean,
Friendships first.
yeah, I do. I think that's very important.
There's an
'cause
old proverb about that. It's bros before hoes. Yeah.
bros before hoes.
Yeah.
I think
that's
you
insane.
can, like, rank types of love, but I think you just need to appreciate
No, love. There's
it.
different levels of love,
I know,
of course.
but I think you just need to appreciate what you have. So, like, if you have romantic love in your life, then
Lucy,
it's important to
I'm gonna keep it above 50 with you, bro.
keep it above 50 with me.
But like, you're always saying that, but then you want a romantic relationship
course I want a
so
romantic relationship.
bad, bro.
Bro, my bad for wanting to
It
feel
may,
love.
like honestly, as much as you say, it kind of makes us feel unappreciated.
Romantically.
Oh, romantically, right? That don't mean you're not loved.
Oh, I know that. Oh my
Cap.
god, the friendship
Cap.
that Kev and Hugh and Nolan, like the friendship that Sierra and all of y'all give me, is like beyond anything that I think. You're right that maybe I'll ever feel with someone. Like I genuinely think like the love I feel for Sierra is so much deeper than the love I'll ever feel for anyone else.
Right.
Um,
Do you feel like a
it's
pressure?
different.
Do you feel like a time? Like you need a time? There's a time limit?
no,
Like you
I
need
just
to.
like being in love. like,
No,
I-
that's so real. Like, oh my
I just
god.
like being a girlfriend. I like taking care of people. I like being taken care of. I like having someone who I can text throughout the day and who I can write little sweet notes to, and like I can be gushy to
That-
without it being like too much. Because
And-
then that's the other thing about like being bi is like I don't want to be like too lovey towards some of my girlfriends because I don't want them to think I'm like that, and I can't be like that to Kevin.
Right. I see. I hear you.
So it's like there's just something different about like having that person. I
Right.
think I just want them.
I
Like
feel
I'm
that.
okay like not having it right now.
And again, that doesn't mean guys don't want that either. That doesn't mean
I
that.
know.
No,
you
like
know?
yeah, I want it. I want
Let's say,
it.
Hugh
Like,
and I
dude,
are on the same
no, dude,
level.
like, dude, I want it so bad that I like that I get scared and I self sabotage.
Yeah.
Like that's
Right.
how bad.
But it's like I don't know because I don't want it bad enough to settle.
No,
No,
I
for
have,
real, yeah.
but
Right.
That's the thing. That's
good,
so
too.
different. Because I used to want it bad enough to settle.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Past high school relationships.
Yeah.
But,
Now I'm
like,
just
now-
desperate, bro. I'm
Like
a
you said,
desperate
it's all about growing together.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Vatos locos for life.
Los locos for
Kevin.
life.
All right.
That
I
was
think
good.
it's a wrap.
That was good.
I think it's a wrap. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you for
we gotta do
having
this
us.
again.
Yeah, thank
Are
you
you
so
kidding me?
much
Thank
for having
you
us.
guys. This ain't me. You guys are so
No,
awesome.
you a bitch, but we love
Like
you.
I gotta. I mean, when I think about it, and I think of not people my age, not old heads, but I think of the future, and every time I sit and talk with somebody, I think, we got great things ahead. A lot of, I mean, you got some incredible self-awareness. You know, all of you do. And that's phenomenal, right? Like, oh my God, when I was your age, I was as dumb as a bag of rocks. Holy shit. You guys are so leveled up. It's incredible. So I have a lot of faith in what's going to happen in our future if it's in you guys' hands. It's going to be great. I do. And I kind of glossed over you, Sierra, a little bit. No, I didn't. You're right at the top. Let's go. Come on. You're my partner in crime. We have committed no crimes. Those were all alleged. Let's make
all
that.
allegations.
Let's
No
I have
warrants.
done no
Let's
drugs.
make that real freaking
Yeah,
clear.
I have never done
Nothing
drugs.
we talked about. We are all over 21,
Everything was that.
and everything's alleged.
Yes,
So-
Gas is not a
correct.
That's like all hypothetical.
And trust everything on the internet. Everything's true.
Yep.
It's all true.
Not a tree hugger.
All facts. Not tree hugger. All right. That's a wrap.
Thank you so much for having us.
Rock on.
All right,
That was
guys.
great.
Now that this is over, Sushi was in the hospital, and that's why I left. He's coming back.
Okay.
Is he good? What happened?
Yeah.
just got cancer.
No, he's in the hospital.
What happened?
What was? He's on